Hey everyone, Saz here from Meeples and Dragons. Welcome back to Day 5 of Jasper's Game Week Aussie Edition, raising money for Jasper's Game Day and Beyond Blue. If you're joining us for the first time today, you might have missed the news, but we reached our initial fundraising goal of $5,000 last night. So today we've set a new stretch goal of $7,000, and if we reach that goal, we'll be giving away a legendary bundle thanks to D&D Beyond. So, sounds pretty good to me. Added to this, every $250 that is added to the donations bar today and tomorrow, I'll be running giveaways in chat. Our next one is at $5,750. So get on the Tiltify, see how you can impact the games, and keep an eye out in chat for those giveaways. Now we've gotten through all of that stuff, I'm going to go hand you over to your incredible Dungeon Master for this game, Robert Hartley. Enjoy, everyone.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my edition of my contribution to the Jasper's Game Week extravaganza that is happening. I am Robert Hartley GM, a full-time Dungeon Master, Games Master, and nerd. I'm a Dungeon Master for Viva the Dirt League, a comedy group, and I'm a Dungeon Master on Twitch and YouTube as well. But today I'm here on Ardent Roleplay to contribute to Jasper's Game Week Aussie Edition, New Zealand Edition. I'm a bit racist against New Zealanders calling it Aussie Edition, but you know, we're not going to split hairs about that. Jasper's Game Day. If you are joining me from my community, joining us from my community, and you don't know where you are or why I'm on a new channel, it's a charity for raising money for and awareness for mental health awareness and suicide prevention, particularly in the gaming industry. A very worthy cause, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So joining me today, you may see me that side of me. Hello, everybody. We'll go around and we'll say hello to who the guests are that will be joining me here today for the game. I will start in an order that makes sense to me because I'm looking at the Zoom call. We'll start with Kerri. Kerri, tell me, who are you? If you make things, where can people find those things? And who will you be playing today?
Hi, my name's Kerri. I'm a voice actor and streamer on Twitch under the name Kid Kerrigan for my streaming stuff, and for my voiceover stuff, I'm just Nina. But you can find my voiceover stuff at voicesofnina.com, and you can find all of my content stuff at kidkerrigan.tv. Today, I am playing, for the first time ever, a warlock, which everyone tells me is awesome, but I'm not so sure because there's so much stuff to remember about it. But her name's Lev, and she's just real broody and dark and quite emo. But it's gonna be a good time. You just
need to remember, cast as many spells as you can, and roll out, and you've got fewer things to remember.
And I own a dog, and he does that sometimes, and I'm also coming off the flu, so I may be coughing through the whole thing. So I apologize. I probably literally am just getting a delivery right now. So that's me, and I'll be back momentarily.
Wonderful. It's a good thing I started with you. We're going to jump from Kerri to Chris. Chris, who are you? Where are you from? What's your deal? All that stuff.
I'm Chris. I am a recurring nightmare, so I don't do anything of particular use apart from help people in a strange and odd manner, Rob. So back to you.
There you go. Who will you be playing today, Chris?
Oh, yes, that's it. We're playing D&D. Silly me, New Zealand edition. I would be playing Pride, a champion fighter with a lion background.
Wonderful. We'll move on to Wabba. Wabba, who are you? Where are you from? What's your deal? Playing.
Hi, I'm Wabba. From the US, you can probably tell. I'm just literally some rando. Don't create anything of interest. I'm a software engineer. I work on video games because I enjoy creating experiences like all these.
Whoa! Two very contradictory things there. You're like, I don't create anything of interest, but I'm a software engineer.
Except for video games. I don't create the
entire Jasper's Game Day is all about the gaming industry and mental health awareness and how important things like video games and recreation are to people's mental health.
Okay, fair. Okay, I'm here to support all the people who create the cooler things than me, though.
Fair enough.
I'll be playing Nana, the party granny, Tortle cleric, who's
Wonderful.
basically here to give you a pat on the head.
Very looking forward to it. Moving on to Josh. Josh, what's the deal?
Avast and ahoy, mateys. I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me on my channel Corsair's Cove, where I DM mostly Humblewood content, but a few bits and pieces elsewise than that. I'm a bit of a scourge of the internet space as well. I get about. I am the no, I won't make that joke of of the Twitch space. Today I will be playing Vape. Vape is a Warforged artificer based strongly on an R2 unit from Star Wars.
Oh, very cool. Look forward to it. So, no speaking today, just bleep and bloops?
Oh, no, he's evolved. He's Steel Defender, however.
Fair enough. All right, Tammie, who you are, what's the deal? You make things that people can find anywhere?
I don't have my own stuff. I crash other people's stuff, but I do play the Warlock in the Meeples and Dragons D&D game. So if you want to read about those exploits, it's in their newsletter and their blog. I am playing a monk, technically not the first monk I've played, but in the other one I never did any combat. So let's see, I've been told the main thing I have to remember is evasion.
I'll try and make sure to hit you with a dexterity save. All right, moving on. NVC, your deal.
Hello, everyone. I am NVCDM. Much like Chris, I am also a recurring nightmare, particularly for this week. You can find me crashing all sorts of TTRPG streams all over the interwebs. I'm also a mod for the Fate Script campaign in their streams. You can find me on Twitter at that NVCDM. But today, for your viewing and listening pleasure, I will be playing Nugs, the Kobold Rogue.
Looking forward to it. And that's all the people you can see on screen, but there are multiple people behind the scenes of this sort of event as well. So a big shout out and thank you to Clint, who's doing our tech stuff today. Thank you to Meeples and Dragons. And thank you to Jasper's Game Week, Jasper's Game Day, whatever they're calling it, as they continue to evolve. Let's hope for Jasper's Game Month and and onwards. All right, without further ado, let's jump into the story, shall we? We open up in an underground dungeon in a crime family facility somewhere outside of the city of Iwanenburg. Irregular stone walls are lit by a flickering torch, is illuminating dull iron bars of cells and cages. We can see a huge ogre using a dagger to pick. Inside 6 of the 8 cages of the room are held humanoids of various shape and size, species. How did you all get here? Find out. We jump out of the dungeon cell. Fog rolls in. We see the titles: outside in. Let's roll a d6 and see who's getting kidnapped first.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 on my screen, that is Chris. Chris, tell me a little about what people are looking at when the scene goes to Pride, and how they get captured, or what they were doing right before.
So Pride is currently going through a whole bunch of stretching exercises for his leg, which was injured in the last combat. So he's been putting binds in it, and he's currently at the healers. So if you can imagine a spa,
yes,
there's lots of towels there. So there's no weapons. He's just got his claws, and sitting there just and he's waiting for the master to come back to just finish off his leg, which is still quite stiff after the last significant battle.
Yes, there's as you're sort of waiting for the masseur to come back, you're in a place of worship, which doubles as a bathhouse in my games. It's god of cleanliness, purity, all of that. The bathhouses as part of their temple. And one of the acolytes walks back in. Only they're not the acolyte you were encountering when you came into the bathhouse. Halfling, and she says. Oh, hello there. You're Pride, are you? I understand that. Sorry, the last guy had to clock off for a second. I'm here to finish off the massage, but don't worry, I got much stronger hands than my size would seem to indicate. So just lie yourself down there. And then she, off of her belt, she takes a small vial of something and she opens it up and spreads it over her hands. That's to massage it into the fur of the leg. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw?
As she
19.
breaks his leg.
19. You start to feel a little bit relaxed, like a really welcome feeling. It gets a little too relaxed though, and you start to feel your leg going a little bit numb. And she says, "Oh, just lie down there, sir. Don't mind me." And you see her kind of. She looks a little furtive, and she says, "1 second, if you wouldn't mind." And she leaves the room, leaving you on your own. A moment or two later, 2 more people follow her in, all halflings, all wearing the acolyte robes of this temple. Only maybe a perception.
Sure. 17. That was an amazing roll. But never mind.
You recognise that the robes that they're wearing, greatest. Not the greatest fit. They're a little bit long. But before you can sort of act on that, they've all walked over, they've all unclipped these things, they've all poured more of it into their hands, and they're massaging it into you further. Not just the leg now, they're moving their way up the body. You're starting to feel yourself going numb in a few different places, and then you suddenly realise what's happening. These guys are not actually at work at the temple, and they're trying to put you. You have one opportunity to do something before you get kidnapped. So, for instance, you might try and fight back and injure one of them. You might try to squirrel some item onto your person. You might leave a clue here as to what happened before you get under. You know that it's inevitable that you are going to get captured. You have a very short amount of time to do something. What's the one action to do before you get captured?
So Pride leans out and then just palms a small vial. It's a potion of strength that he has.
Wonderful. You reach out and they kind of, you hear them start to speak to each other in halfling, a language you don't understand. There's definitely frantic worry in their voices, and then one of them brings out from robes a small club-like item wrapped in leather, using a kosh. And as one of them hits you over the back of the head, it doesn't seem to knock you out nearly as quickly as hoped. Now it's absolutely abundantly clear to you that you're in some kind of trouble. You reach down to your clothes to scrabble out to your weapons and other things, but your hand clasps around a vial. You manage to secrete that away on your person before blacking out. Let's see who's next. Wabba. What would Nana be doing? Where is she? What does she look like? And
Nana is a turtle. So if anybody's not familiar, a turtle person. So she's in full kind of robes. She's got a little cowl over her head, so very very sweet and very here, just elderly. She's currently running a bake sale for the local children of a very small village. It's kind of a bake sale / healing. So if a kid comes up and they've got a little scrape on their knee, they get a cupcake, but also a quick heal to them.
And what is the bake sale for? Is it raising funds for a particular reason?
For the children.
For the children, for like the local school or something, perhaps.
Oh yes. Arts programs.
Yeah, it's going relatively well. There's quite a few people enjoying it. At one point, there's a halfling gentleman up, I see you were healing some scraped knees before.
Oh yes, Derek. Do you have a scraped knee?
I don't myself, but just on the other field across from here, just you see the large building made of wood there, the wooden one. Just around the corner there, there's a bit of a farmhouse, and there's a guy who's just gotten trapped underneath one of his machines. I think his ox has pulled a yoke over him. Would you mind following us? Got healing magic. It'll help.
Oh dear, of course. She's just going to pick up a couple of cupcakes to bring to the person and the ox.
And you follow this little halfling gentleman around this wooden house and towards this farmhouse that's out. You can't see this overturned yoke anywhere in this field from afar. But what you can see are about half a dozen other halflings standing around in this field, and they're all kind of like gesticulating as if they are surrounding something. You get over there, and at the last moment you realise there's nobody here. As they turn towards you, each of them draws out weapons, and one of them has a net, one of them has some sort of a blowpipe, and you realise at the last moment you're about to get ambushed. What is the one action you want to take before you go under?
Oh, Nana's just going to offer them the cupcakes and let them know. I understand. I forgive you.
Love that. You just offer them cupcakes. Okay, wonderful. That will come back into it. You get ambushed as one of them close by takes the cupcakes as a dart from the blow dart into your neck. Go under. We're going to move on to Pen. Pen, what do you look like? Where are you? What might you be doing?
So Pen is average height and quite slender. Has really sort of severe bone structure in the face that kind of makes her look gaunt, even though she's not underweight or anything like that. Incredibly pale skin, jet black hair, and sort of very dark eyes, almost like they would be black in a sense. She comes out from the local post office after mailing some money somewhere, on her way to the nearby park with the intention of sitting under a tree to mend a tear in her coat.
Wonderful. Come out of this post office. Can you make a perception check, please?
Do. Oh, come on, D&D Beyond. Oh, 13. Not very good.
You come out and almost bump into a dapper-looking human gentleman, probably in his 20s at most, dressed nicely. But he, excuse me, sorry. Lets you out of the post office. Seems to head in himself as you down the road towards the park to have your mending. It's when you get into the park, however, that you kind of, because you sort of turn the corner off of the main street to get into the park, you kind of glance back the direction coming, and that same gentleman is walking after you, maybe about 20 meters back. It doesn't seem like he's moving with any particular, but it's odd that he'd be so close if he did indeed. You don't really think too much of it, though, as you sit down beneath the tree, until he walks into the park and starts talking to a halfling gentleman. He sort of nods in your direction and back, but gives one of these kind of. Then he walks over as well, and this halfling walks over to you. What's that magic you're doing there? I see you looking around with something. You mending it?
I'm not doing magic. I've just got a needle and thread.
It's just thread, is it?
Yeah.
Can you do magic? You look like you're not from around here. Like maybe one of those magic types.
No.
Yeah, he looks back over his shoulder, and you see him do something with his collar. You don't speak thieves' cant.
No.
He's doing something that is talking to the human gentleman at the who's now just standing by the gentleman. Nods and that's walking over as well. Look, I'm sorry to bother you. You just look like somebody that we've well, you look like you're going to earn us a lot of money. I'm afraid you're going to have to come with us. He opens his front of his robe up. Quite a large blade that looks like something that would be more for show of intimidation rather than you. We don't want this done ugly, but you kind of look around. You think at your level you could probably take these two easily. But now you see that there are about half a dozen other halflings in this park that are all kind of stationed around. Looked like they were just like separate at first, but now they've all stopped what they were doing and think. Realize that you're in a bit of a dire strait. What's the one action you take before you're captured?
So she will actually start finding a shadow, and it's not going to succeed, but she will start porting around the shadows.
Yeah, as soon as you move into it, you like stand up and you look. We don't need to do this. You kind of like walk yourself around the sun is going into the shadow. As soon as you step into the shadow, the other guy kind of steps around the side, sees that you've disappeared, and shouts out, "She is magic! Search the shadows!" And then the halflings split up. It doesn't take them long to, as you dart around, one of them sees you get hit with a blow dart, and you have made a bit of a kerfuffle in the park and perhaps left some sort of trouble. All right. Gotcha. We're going to Josh. where is Vape right now, and what do they look like?
Vape is quite a tall, quite sturdy-looking, vaguely humanoid. Only in the broadest sense of the word, is in he has a torso, arms, and legs, and his head is pretty much just a can on top of it. It hinges back and forth to talk. If you think a South Park style Canadian, that's pretty much.
Right.
Yes. But his voice is actually quite cultured for all that. His feet are basically just triangles, and he just sort of clumps around. In fact, actually, for a visual sort of an assassin droid from Star Wars, that sort of robot shape. He is accompanied by what we would all be familiar with as an astromech, a little dustbin on wheels, essentially, which he refers to as Whistler. They both of them feature several glowing lights, gemstones embedded in their torsos. And in this city, Vape has started running for those who don't live in Australia, they may not be familiar with the term lubemobile, but it's basically a portable mechanic. He goes out broken down wagons. Yeah, it's very much children's charity. He goes around, fixes broken machinery wagons and so forth. He's probably on his back, which has extruded wheels from it, so you can just slide underneath this carriage, and he's repairing.
Got a built-in one of those mechanics trolleys. Yeah,
it's fixing a broken axle.
Yeah, you're fixing a broken axle on a piece of farmyard equipment as well. You've called to a halfling yard. Maybe seeing a pattern in it. If you've been called to a halfling
all these combine harvesters.
Where he's mentioned some kind of land or farm in every one of these. Blue. These halflings have called you to fix one of their axles, and you've drawn, as you're quite used to, you've drawn quite a crowd. Warforged are exceptionally seen, and so they're amazed at your inner workings. You've also been approached by one of the younger ones who seem maybe teenage years, who's been asking you all kinds of questions about how you work and whatnot, whether magic is holding you together or else. Eventually, though, as you're sort of finishing your job, see that one of them, make an insight check.
Insight, one of my finest skills, an 11.
11. You are not sure exactly. They're making out like there's something else that they do, but they're not giving specifics of it yet. A little bit too late, you realize they were just stalling for time, because a few moments later, a rather large gentleman, a really rotund halfling, turns up on the back of a horse, and as he rides up the farm towards them, they, Terrence is here. He'd like to see you as well, I'm sure. And as this rotund Terrence fella gets off of his horse, walks over and pulls out a small gemstone from the inside of his pocket, and he says, yes, I was just wondering what's we don't see many of your kind around here, so they told me that you were working. I had to come down and see for myself. Can you tell me what this is? And he hands out this gemstone to you.
Would I be able to tell what it is from a glance, or do I have to investigate it?
It looks just like a regular gemstone, like a ruby red kind of a thing that's cut in like a strange sort of shape, but like a U cut.
Yes. So, greetings, friend Terrence. I shall, of course, observe your item. And this claw comes out, and it sort of telescopes out, and
as soon as it clasps onto this gemstone, there's this bolt of electricity that is released from the gemstone up your circuitry and temporarily paralyzes you. And in the last few moments, you realize that you're being ambushed. What is the one action you wish to take before you are put?
Whistler would rejoin.
So
Whistler can basically Whistler and Vape are essentially the same being, and Whistler sort of fits the back of Vape's torso hinges open, and Whistler sort of pops up into it. It's part of a shutdown procedure, so when Vape shuts down, Whistler automatically pops back in.
Wonderful. All right, let's see who is next. I've got that's going to be NVC. Where is Nugs? What do they look like? And what?
So Nugs is a small, probably about 4 foot orange coloured hinged kobold. Is very well dressed, full suit and tie, and he is just leaving a shop. If you look at the shop, there's a carved wooden sign above the door that says Gold Scales. This, although to the outside viewer would look like a normal pawnbroker's, it is actually a fence, and Nugs has been exchanging some ill-gotten goods for cash as he sort of steps out the door, lights a cigar in his mouth, and calls back over his shoulder. He's like, all right, same time next week, Gold Scale. And then he steps out into the street.
As you step out, there's a voice from behind that says, wait, Nugs, wait. And a Dragonborn companion of yours, wouldn't necessarily call him a friend, but he's someone you've done work with. He was also there to fence some goods, and he catches up to you. Listen, and then he sort of rearranges his clothes and speaks in kind of like a Cockney rhyming slangish sort of way that both of which are elements of thieves' cant. And you do speak. So he's basically asking you if you have any work for a thing. You know that this guy's speciality is more in the breaking and entering, more detailed work. But he's just asking for work as you talk together.
I think I would direct him to one of the more notable members of the Scale Syndicate, which is the crime family that Nugs is a part of. If they are indeed looking for work, we've always got jobs going.
Yes, I know, but I'm asking you, man. I don't want to have to take a job officially. I'm saying, like, off the board. Is there heard of? And he sort of takes you down a bit of an alleyway to get away from any prying ears and eyes. I'm hurting for money at the moment. I need something to tie me over. I'm asking you have.
Are there any jobs that I would know about?
I mean, you've always got your ear to the ground about certain things, but you trust in the syndicate. They're usually the ones that give you the jobs, so you're always kind of aware. But any jobs that you do hear about, you take to the syndicate. New noble visiting.
Yeah.
But as you're trying to think of a job, you hear a couple of footsteps in the alleyway that you've ducked into, and then a halfling gentleman kind of like stumbles around, half drunk, and starts walking down the alleyway towards you, and it's like mid-afternoon. But he walks up and he's, "Excuse me, fellas. Would either you have a? Would you have some money? I need." What? He gets real close and he goes, "Are you dragons?" And your friend says, "Get out of here. Get lost. We are in the middle of something." He goes, "No, come on. There's no need to be like that, pal. Just give. Are you a dragon? Hey, look, fellas, it's a dragon!" And as he says this, there is this sound from above as a net is dropped from the guttering of the house above you. And as this guy has distracted you, this net drops down. Your dragonborn companion sort of like pushes himself out of the way, and by doing so, he kind of knocks you into the way of the net. And the net that was destined for the dragonborn instead captures you. The dragonborn escapes with his uncanny dodging and dashing, and he's out of there.
Nuts.
And then the halfling immediately sobers and says, "God damn it, he got away! Well, hold this one down." And he just grabs you in this net. And after him, see if you can grab him. And then you're kind of wriggling around, but he just lays in a couple of elbows until you go to sleep. And then drags you away. Is in that last few moments, was there any particular action that you want to take? You can try and injure one of them, or leave a clue, or try and, I don't know, anything you want to do really. Off yourself somehow.
Sensing my imminent capture and not being a particularly strong boy, I would like to just secrete my mystery key into somewhere where they won't get it if they take my stuff away.
Perfect. Yes, you managed to do so. And then the camera finally heads to Lev. Where is Lev? What do they look like? Where is she?
Lev is a tall, slender tiefling warlock. She's got really deep maroon skin, black flowing hair, and her horns are like this beautiful kind of burgundy deep color. She's gorgeous, but she never shows herself. She's always shrouded in black, tight black leather pants and a black shirt and cloak. And she's sitting in the back of an inn, kind of minding her own business, doing her best Strider impression. Just kind of keeping out of the way, doesn't like to be noticed, doesn't like standing out, just kind of wants to go about her meal and leave as quickly as possible to delve back into the shadows on her way.
You have a relatively nice evening, just like doing what you do, drinking and trying to not be seen. Because of your abilities, you can relatively easily not be seen. And then you go about your day and no problems. All right, moving on. So she's the only one who's not captured. We just do a split party for the rest of the stream. Lev, as you were leaving the tavern, however, you notice that there was a couple of halflings at a couple of tables over. They were there for the most part as long as you were playing cards and darts and things. And then come leaving time, they sort of spill out into the street after you. Make me a perception check, please.
14.
14?
Yeah.
The 14, you do notice after a couple of streets that they are following you. It could potentially be that they're just happening to walk the same way as you, but more likely it is that they're following you. So deliberately you turn off the street and take like a back alley and just kind of test, and sure enough they turn down that same back alley. You come back out onto the next street over and they come out as well. It seems like there's about 3 of them following, but you remember only 2 of them leaving the bar, which means they must have picked up another on the way. As they leave that alley, you see that there's 4 of them. It seems like there's a few of them and they're growing in number as they are deliberately following you. What do you want to do?
If I have time, Lev has a potion of mind reading. Can I use that and see if I can detect why they're following me?
You absolutely can, yes. You chug your potion back and try and listen out for their thoughts, and what comes back is mostly in halfling, but because of the nature of the magic of your mind reading potion, your brain automatically kind of interprets it for you. And what they're saying is, I swear she's tiefling. I saw the haunts. I think she's definitely got some kind of magic about her. We were watching her all night. No, the boss is gonna love her. Tiefling horn. Do you know how much that goes for? They'd be well and truly into it. The dark world is all about getting tieflings. They've had a thing out for tieflings for a long time. And obviously with the mention of the dark world wanting tiefling horns, you know exactly why they're going for you. They are some sort of black market traders.
Don't like that. And
I like that. I like that sound.
Can I try to lure them into like basically a safer area that's down the darkest part of an alleyway where there's like less people around, where like I don't want anyone to A, see what's going on, and B, be in danger other than myself.
We can certainly try, yes. So they're following you, and they don't know that you know what they know, so they're going to follow you. So it's easy enough to lure them where you want them to be. and then you try to make an ambush. Is your intent to try and like injure one of them, or to?
Yeah, can I just like Eldritch Blast all of them into oblivion? Thank you.
You can
I've been told that this is my job.
You can certainly try. So as you lure them into this alleyway, you turn around, and what does your Eldritch Blast look like? Come from your hand, your eyes, your horns? Does it come from your aura?
Her eyes are pitch black orbs, but they glow green while she's casting, and then from her hands, just the darkest possible horrific beams just shoot forward and fry everything.
They just blast and fry.
Yeah.
One of them gets pushed 10 feet back by the blast of it, but it does kick off a fight. The four of them jump into the fray. They look a lot hardier than you'd have expected from their stout halfling bodies, and it seems like they have some way of calling in reinforcements, because after a couple of rounds of this, more of them start to arrive as well. You fight valiantly. A few of them do get injured, but ultimately you succumb to your injuries to them, and they get a couple of lucky strikes in. You go unconscious.
Sad.
And that's the end of the campaign, everybody. Thank you for joining me. That's a TPK.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Don't forget.
But what about all the wild magic?
Donate.
Vignette, fade to back.
Magic, right? All right. So, as you wake one by one in the cells of this underground dungeon area, you're all gathered at different times. Nugs and who else was there first? It was, let's see, where did I write it? It was yeah, Nugs has been captive for about a week because nobody wants to buy kobolds. And
this is outrageous.
And also, Nugs, you've been told that you've overheard a couple of them saying that Terrence might want to keep you once he's heard who they've managed to capture. Pen and Vape, you've also been there for a couple of days now. So while you've been here, the three of you have gotten to know a little bit of the place that you're being captured. So if you need to roll any intelligence checks to remember anything about the captors or the place you're being held, you three will be able to do so with advantage. The rest of you arrived earlier today. And finally, Pride, you are the last to be brought in, as you guys in your respective singular cells, you hear the sound of some commotion outside the large wooden double doors to this dungeon room that you're in, and the ogre Klab, who has been picking his teeth with the dagger, he walks over to the door and sticks the dagger into the wood of the door, and then he steps back and he cracks his knuckles underneath his large bronze knuckle dusters, and he just kind of readies himself in case there's something large being brought in. It sounds like something large is being brought in, because whatever it is, it's picking up a hell of a fight. The doors are unlocked. Yes, the doors are unlocked from the outside. The doors open, and you see the two guards, Riff and Raff, two halflings in full plate armor. They start to lead in this huge bound Leonin fellow with a bag over his head. They thrust him into one of the stalls and lock the doors behind. They tell Klab something in a language that I don't believe any of you speak halfling. No, so language that none of you understand, but Klab seemingly does. And then they walk out of the room, locking the doors behind you. As soon as they do, we have some donations of wild magic. So over your time in these cells, you're going to have some wild magic things happening. You are each in individual cells, and you are looking out across other people. You can see maybe at most two other people because of the way that the walls are arranged in this room. But let me just see real quick which cell, if anybody, is in the largest cell. Nope. Yes, Vape, you have been placed into the 10 by 10 square cell, but everybody else is in a 5 by 5 cell. All right.
There is two of me, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? You're a bigger species. All right, so let's roll on my wild magic table. Tammie. Donations for Tammie. We've got NVC and DeeTwenty. So I'll have each of you three roll a wild magic surge first, please. So that's a D100, a percentile die. And we're going to use my wild magic table that I came up with on stream the other day.
I got a 45.
A 45. A 45 is while you are in this cell, you cast levitate centered on yourself, and you levitate up to the top of the cell. And you, unlike everybody else who's down on the bottom of this stone floor, you are resting against the top of this sort of 8-foot high ceiling.
I always wanted to fly, but not like this.
Imagine him sitting cross-legged on the roof.
Clap comes over and says, "Sit on the ground. Sit on the ground."
Yeah, why don't you come in here and say that?
Bang! He just punches one of the iron bars. Clang!
Vibrations.
Goes back. The next wild magic effect.
93.
93, nice. 93. Ooh. You, as you are in this 5-foot square cell, become relatively cramped as your size increases one size category for the next minute. You grow from a medium creature to a large creature, being sort of pushed up against the ceiling of this cell, and just almost straining against the doorway. You try in that moment to kind of like jiggle the door, but it is solid enough that you can't easily get enough purchase to bash this open, even your large size. And there was another wild
75, Rob.
75, thank you. 75 is you glow with bright light in a 30-foot radius for the next minute. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of you is blinded. So there is a person in the next cell over who is blinded. Let's see who that is. 8. That is that was also Josh the Pirate. So Vape is is blinded temporarily from this radiant light that comes beaming out of the next cell over for a moment. And then there are more donations, but I want to give you guys a moment to decide what is it you would do in your time in captivity of this cells.
So get this straight. I've been
deal with it.
So I've been here a week now.
Yeah, you've been here about a week.
Have I gained any insight into the guard's timetable?
You have indeed. Make me just a straight intelligence check, but you have advantage on it because of the time you've been here.
That's a 19.
19. So the first thing you know is that Clarb the Ogre lives, breathes, sleeps, everything in here. He doesn't leave except for, well, he doesn't even leave to poop. He's got a large bucket in the corner that he does his business in, and then the Riff and Raff guards come in to take it out and clear it out for him. And he doesn't seem to mind. This is just his thing. He's just as much a prisoner as the rest of you, but he doesn't seem to realize it because he's on the other side of the bars.
It is truly terrifying.
The other things you notice is that Riff and Raff are both on duty during the day, and then they take 16-hour shifts, but they overlap by only 8 hours. So there are 8 hours of the day that Riff is on guard, 8 hours during the night that Raff is on guard, and then 8 hours in the morning that they're both on guard. Other than that, you know that there are a few halflings that come and go outside. There's definitely footfalls of other guards and things around, but only those two are guarding this particular dungeon room. Anybody else in your time here, or how you would be spending the time? Pride, as you kind of get the bag whipped off your head, and thrust into your cell. Anything you would do? Or?
Yeah, Pride's going to just test his strength against the bars, please, Rob. He's curious because he's now emitting this light source to, and I imagine Vape's reflecting some of this light source, so he's kind of almost right cat-like interested, and he goes to the grates next to it and sees if he can remove the grates.
All right, can you make me a strength check, please? I should also mention that because of the nature of you being, all of you being captured and being in this thing for a week, each of you have 1 level of exhaustion. You are half your hit point total, and you have and if you have a spell slot, you have lost your highest level spell slot. You have not.
As in one of them, or yes, you don't have any.
One of your highest level spell slots is expended.
Very well.
So you have disadvantage on this just because of the nature of them beating you up, and you're feeling a little bit weaker. You've expended a lot of energy in the capture process, but
that's a 15, Rob. At disadvantage.
15. With a 15, it's enough for you to notice that these are sturdy bars. They are maintained and looked after. It is possible that you could shift them given enough time, but even with a nat 20, it wouldn't be an immediate bend them out of the way kind of thing. It would be like you'd make progress towards bending them out of the way. As soon as you do, though, you start to get up and close, and Clarb comes across and bang! He just punches into the bars where you're holding and forces you to retract your hands and claws quickly, lest you break your fingers. At this moment, with the ringing of Pride's cell bars, Nana, can you roll me a wild magic check, please? A D100, and vape as well. Oh no, sorry, donation advantage for vape. So that's not a wild magic. Just have advantage.
Is that 87?
87. Wonderful. With an 87, randomize this. So from you, coming out is Kerri. Lev, as you are, you should be new that is levitating, but close enough. As you are in your cell, sort of, kind of just like making the most of the bad situation, wondering how you're going to get out of this. You suddenly start to feel a little lighter, a little like you're weightless, and then you think about getting up, and as you kind of think of the word up, you just kind of fly to the top of the cell. You Nana has cast fly on one random creature within 60 feet of her.
Oh, bugger.
And it could have been Clark. You could have had a flying ogre in charge of you.
Hey, welcome to the top of the cage.
She's just kind of like floating there, just fuming internally because she was in the middle of trying to like acid splash her way out of the bars, and now she's just disappointed.
Can you roll me a stealth check, please, to see how subtly you were doing your acid splashing?
11.
11. Clab doesn't have the greatest perception, but he is pretty much always on duty looking out for things like that. He's got little else to do during the day, so he is doing the rounds, which is just walking like 10 feet that way and looking down that aisle, and then walking 10 feet back and looking down this aisle, and he can see you all. So it doesn't take him very long between his rounds, as it were, before he starts to smell the smell of burning metal and come back, and then he punches the bars and says, "Stop that!" But by punching the bars, you notice that he has kind of weakened the spot that you were just acid splashing anyway. So there is a sort of slightly weakened spot, and with enough time you can actually do it. However, it is down at the bottom near the floor where you were subtly doing it, and now you're sort of flying around.
And I'm all the way up here.
You, unlike with levitate, you can actually think down, and you start to fly back down again, leaving your levitating friend at the top of his cage.
It's fine.
NVC, can you make me a wild magic check, please?
Know it.
And while we're at it, we might as well catch up on all of them, which is Tammie and Wabba as well, please. Oh, no, advantage for Wabba. You don't have a wild magic. Don't forget, guys, that anything you are, to the audience now, anything that you are donating goes into
89.
the game, obviously, but it's also going towards a large pool supporting Jasper's game day and all the work that they do. And every $250 that we get for Jasper's game week, there's going to be another giveaway. So it's all towards a good cause. We're less than $5 from another giveaway, is that right?
Mm.
All right. 89, did you say?
Correct.
Oh, interesting. You become invisible for the next minute. During that time, other creatures can't hear you. The invisibility ends if you attack or cast a spell. So invisible and inaudible. So if there's anything that you guys want to do to start like trying to actually make your way out, we've got somebody trying to bend bars. We've got somebody trying to acid splash. Is there anything else that any of the others of you want to try?
Vape can literally cut bars. He has built-in Smith's tools. So yeah, he would have been basically whenever he would have he's been here for a while, and very early on he would have just put Whistler next to the bars and just sort of left him there. And after about an hour or so, the ogre would have just gotten used to that thing just being there, not just doing anything. There, yeah. So every time it goes past, every time the ogre goes past, it hears scrape, 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 scrape. Then it turns around, it doesn't see anything. Turns around again, scrape, scrape. Basically, whenever it's not looking, it is scrape. Because Whistler is using a file to slowly wear away. It's like, we are robots. We have as long as we need.
You certainly do, and you've been here for a while now. So in that time, Whistler has managed to cut through all the way through one of the bottoms of one of the bars, and is halfway through another one, knowing full well that if you cut out two of these bars fully, you can there's enough room for you to squeeze through. Yeah. There is a faint kind of crackling sound as Pen, you turn into a potted plant for a little while.
An enormous potted plant.
Yeah, an enormous. Yeah, because the size of your normal, and then you just the leaves are just pushing out of the thing. Clab goes over to the doors and then
Scrape.
What is it, Clab? Someone druid wild shape maybe, or into plants or something. Plant in here. We'll deal with it. All right. He walks over and starts tearing chunks off of the plants that are sticking through the back. You have vulnerability to all damage while you're in plant form, so it just like really hurts until eventually it reverts back after until just it's only one turn, so it only lasted like a few seconds until he snapped off a couple of these things. And as you come back, it's not like exactly translated to snapped fingers or anything, but you just kind of feel like some parts of your body don't feel quite so good.
Pen will be spending her time in there plotting out, depending on the time of day, where all the shadows lie and how far she can bamf around when she goes to make her escape.
Say that again, sorry. So you were trying to work out where the shadows are and things so that you can jump. Gotcha. So in this dungeon, there is one flickering torch in the far side. Clab is definitely casting a very large shadow from that torch every time he's moving around. So there is a large moving shadow with him. Your cell, let's see which cell you're in, because that's going to actually potentially be in shadow here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're in that one, so D6 actually. 2. Unfortunately, no, you are in the cell closest to one of these torchlights, as it happens. So you are not in your cell, probably why you're still in your cell, because you probably wouldn't be if there was shadow in here. It makes sense. Your cell is brightly lit, but every time that Clab comes over to the door, yours is actually the cell that's closest to the door. Every time that Clab comes over, he does cast a shadow into your cell. It's just that from your cell, you can't necessarily then see another shadow to jump into.
Could Vape have established over the last 3 or so days that he's been there whether or not Clab is conversant with Thieves' Cant?
Make an insight check. Are you
Like he would have
Thieves' Cant?
Yes.
You are? Then definitely would be able to recognize it if he does it. Make an insight check. You have advantage because of the time you've been here.
Yes. 17 plus 2, 19.
Yes, you can tell that he is not conversant with Thieves' Cant. Every time that they have talked to him, it seems to have either been in Halfling or Common.
Very well. In which case, I would have utilized Thieves' Cant to communicate with my fellow inmates, and probably determined fairly early that Nugs is the only one who knows it.
Let me just check real quick which cell Nugs is in, because if he is in one you can see, that will work this out a lot easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, lucky, he is. He is in one right opposite from you, and you can see Nugs. And Nugs, this is particularly important because Thieves' Cant isn't all entirely verbal. In my world, it's a lot to do with body language and positioning and how you're pointing your face and stuff like that.
You can't actually see Nugs at the moment.
Not right now.
And actually, there would be are you undamaged, friend Nugs?
What do you mean? I'm just sitting here on the roof of the cage.
Ah, I comprehend. Scrape. And Vape has communicated to Nugs that as soon as he extricates himself from the cage, he will extricate Nugs from the cage.
Has Vape communicated to Nugs that he is invisible, that he can't see Nugs?
Yeah. Do you mention that you can't respond?
Well,
I don't think I know.
Would the roof of the ceiling, would the roof of the cage be visible to Vape?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. In which case, Vape would say, in Thieves' Cant, probably, you are invisible. Is this intentional? If so, why did you not tell me before that you could do this?
We've been
saving us a lot of time.
Okay. I think I'd like to capitalize on this situation, and if I can, probably not reverse the levitate, but I could probably drag myself hand over hand down the bars. I'd like to try and get down to the door and unsecrete my mystery key and try it, see if it'll open the cage. It's got a 5% chance.
Do you want to roll this or should I? It will roll on it. It will succeed on a nat 20.
I'll roll it.
You can
Seems
just
fair.
roll a d20, and if it's a nat 20, it's a successful. It's a successful key for this.
Come on, baby. Papa needs to get out of here. That's a natural one. Could not be further from what I needed.
You place the mystery key into the lock, and you feel like it does nothing at all, and it is completely the wrong size for it. The magic is still within the key, but not where it not what it needs to be right now.
Oh well, worth a try.
I have a thing then.
Go on.
Pardon, friend jailer. It would appear one of your charges has disappeared.
Huh? What? Shut your mouth. He walks back over and sort of grabs the bars, and he kind of grabs one of the bars that has been cut through already, and he goes, shut up! And he doesn't seem to notice that it goes, and it opens like by a good 3 inches. Shut up your shut the metal stupid face.
I point over his shoulder.
Yes, empty cell. Doesn't seem to realize that for the last week there's been a kobold in that particular cell.
All right.
Empty, what do you mean? Huh?
There was a kobold there.
Huh? Oh, he actually rolled well. He goes, no, kobold in this one. And he walks around the corner and goes, no, kobold, no! And he comes rushing back, and he grabs the door of your cage, Nugs, and he starts just shaking it. No, kobold, where do you go? No! You hear the doors open, and Riff and Raff both walk into the room, and they go, Clark, what is it? Calm down. He goes, kobold's gone out. How has he gotten out? I don't know. He's not here. Jeez, Clark, you've got one job. And they close the doors. You hear it lock, and then Clark just continues to kind of rattle the doorway that you're in, of the cell that you're in. It's not loosening the bars, but he's just angry and standing there.
Oh, that doesn't feel good.
Let's see. Try and catch up on these donations that are coming in. We have advantage for Wabba. I think we've already said. We have Nana has a wild magic surge we haven't resolved yet. What was the number there?
No, we already got that one.
Oh, we got that one, did we?
We had Lev flying.
Ah, gotcha. Donation advantage for DeeTwenty from definitely not Wabba Jack Wagon. Thank you very much. Definitely not you. All right.
Congratulations, Venizelda.
You guys are in this this cell block. We've got Lev. Your fly runs out. You get back down to the bottom with the commotion of him around the other side from you. He's definitely out of sight of you now. You can be acid splashing this bars as much as you want, trying your best to actually get through. You're having to kind of step back now because a bunch of this, scrape right behind him as he's rattling. I'll say that Lev, you managed to get through the bottom of one of these bars with acid. It's burnt away to a puddle now, on the bottom anyway. You're going to need to do either the top of it or try and bend it out of the way now. I'll say that Vape, you have managed to cut through the bottom of 2 of these bars, one of which is now bent out of shape already for you. How about the rest of you? Anything that you wish to be trying or attempting or working together for?
Sorry, Dim. The torch lighting around here, the ogre is using torchlight to see, so he doesn't appear to have dark vision.
Correct.
Okay, so how close are the torches to Pride?
To Pride, let's see which cell block you were in. You're in that one, you're in that one, you're in that one. So we haven't allocated these 4 yet. Let's have a look. You are in. You're in the one directly opposite Pen. So you're right on the edge of the walkway. You can see both torchlights. One by the front doors, the double doors, off to your left, and one down the far end, opposite the large cage where Vape is, about 20 feet from you.
Sure.
So there's one about 10 feet away, one about 25-ish.
Yeah. Is it possible to try and either get that torch or extinguish it from the cell?
You wouldn't be able to reach it unless you had something that could roll flames or reach out 10 feet, like a pole or something.
That's okay. That was it was just if it was close.
Not easily, I'm afraid.
No, that's fine.
If you had something to throw at it, you could try that, but yeah, it's not really going to happen easily. Anybody else? Nana, what's Nana doing? She just enjoying herself, just life happens. Nana?
Nana is so is Nana up against Lev's cell?
See, Nana is.
She did cast the fly.
we'll say I think you'll be in. Yeah, I'll just allocate you in that. You are directly opposite Lev's cell. Lev is next to. I've just posted in the Discord the image that I'm using for reference. And we will allocate them all now. We've got Pen in the top left, top right, and Lev in the top left. We've got Nana in the next one down on the left, and Pride next to that. And then we've got the Kobold Nugs underneath Nana's square. The one next to Nugs is empty, and then Vape is in the big one at the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't suppose that Nana could use her advantage to pat Lev's head from a distance, could she?
Pat Lev's head from a distance?
Just to let her know, you're doing a great job, dearie. And just to kind of guidance her.
Yeah, you reach
long distance
doing great,
wakey head.
sweetie.
out your hand, and if Lev reaches out her hand, you can touch fingers from a distance and cast guidance easily enough. You're doing a good job. You give her a nice encouraging words, and you have guidance. You can add a D4 to a check. We have a donation, which is going to be very interesting. Thank you, Medley Rose. So the boss monster that I'm going to drop on you is essentially going to be. Here we go. Yes, it's going to be Club. Club, as the invisibility wears off on you, Nugs, you come back to visibility, I guess, and it kind of startles him backwards as suddenly this kobold appears like right in front of him from this doorway that he's been rattling, and he sort of stumbles back and hits his head against the cage behind him, which annoys him somewhat. And then he just says, he grabs the thing and leans right in and shouts at you, "Don't you go anywhere! You stay in here, you understand me? You understand?" And then he looks over and he sees Pride like right up against the cage, like looking, like trying to get an idea of where the torchlights are. And the person who asked for the boss monster specifically asked that they open your door, Pride. So he sees you eyeing up those torchlights. And then he comes around and he says, "What are you looking at?" And he clangs his fists against your door, and it rattles the doorway enough that it actually like dislocates a bit of the lock. And then he looks down and he says, "You try and break out," thinking that you've been the one to dislocate the lock, not understanding that he's just done it right now. And so he like, "I'll show you," and he's going to rip the door off his hinges, or he's going to try anyway.
Can I assist?
Yeah, you can certainly
give him a help.
Say words of encouragement.
Push it from the other side. Hey, and you got a 19 plus his strength. That'll do it. It starts to unhinge. It breaks through the lock on one side, but it doesn't it sort of twists the lock rather than like snapping it, shearing it. And so it twists and opens on the top of the doorway, like he's sort of peeling it back. And then he kind of reaches in and goes, what was it they wanted me to say? He says, "Thundercats are loose!" And he grabs the giant Leon, and he's going to bring you out. And I need initiative from everybody to see from your cells if you can help Clark fighting with Pride.
Well, can I say that while he's making all this noise, breaking the cell door,
you can be.
I would have been assisting bending the bars and clambering out.
Make me a strength check, please.
Yeah, that's one of my good stats.
Nice.
And DM, we're all running at disadvantage since we've got a point of fatigue, right?
Disadvantage on ability checks, which initiative is, yes.
Oh, okay. Mine will be an 18 then, because it would have just been my first roll.
12 for me.
6 for me. Irritatingly, it was a nat 20 or a 4.
Only one monster. It just depends whether or not you are above an 8. If you're above an 8, you go with 4.
Question for me: is there somewhere on the character sheet to turn on exhaustion so that it does stuff?
Question.
But yes, if you go to conditions, you click on that, it should prompt you to select one, and down the bottom is exhaustion, and there's a set of levels. Just select one.
Nice. Did not know that. Thank you.
Where is that? Oh, here.
Right underneath your hip points.
Yep. I see it. Thank you.
Rob, I got with disadvantage a 19 for bending the bars.
Oh, okay. Definitely enough. You've already cut through the bottom of 2 of them, so with the 19, that's enough for you to bend out. That's going to be what happens as the initiative's kicking off, so that you are free to leave the cell on your turn. Pride, obviously, there's a way out of the cell for you as well. For everybody else, there's not yet a clear exit from the cell. However, from where he is standing, I did say that when he comes down this end, Pen, he is casting a shadow into your cell. He's standing between you and the torch, so you are in shadow. All right. We had a donation surge, not for any of you, but for the monster. So let's see. Let me roll a D100 and see what happens to Clab.
Maybe he can come float too.
He does. He literally does. I got a 45. He got levitate.
Amazing.
So as Clab reaches in to try and grab the Leon, and there's this crackling of energy that you guys have. You realize this area of the world must be built on some sort of ley line of magic or something, and he starts to levitate off of the ground.
Would you look at that?
Is there any keys hanging from his belt in true jailer style?
No, there is not. You have noticed the people who have been here for more than a day have noticed that Clab is not to be trusted with keys, and so Riff and Raff are the only ones to have keys, and they leave him to just keep people in line. You hear this definite acknowledgement from outside that Clab is not the only one to be joining this fight, because they've heard Clab wrenching the door open, and they're probably going to come in a moment to see what that's all about. So anyone above a 17 gets to go first, and then it'll be the Riff and Raff on the outside, and then an 8 is what Clab got. We got a 9. How many? Oh no, you've put in the chat, haven't you? Lev, you got a 19.
Mine was 12 because my disadvantage was 12. Yeah, sorry about that.
So Lev with a 12. We had an 18 for Pen. 18 for Pen. Anyone else above a 17?
I rolled a 23.
What?
I get +5 to initiative, and I rolled a 19 and an 18.
You got initiative, kid.
You got initiative. I like your initiative.
Doesn't do you much good if you're stuck in a cage.
Nope, not a lot. But you can certainly try and assist from where you are somehow. We've got Nugs, we've got Pen, we've got Riff and Raff, and then we've got anybody between 17 and 12. Nope. And then we've got Lev. Anybody less than a 12?
I did a 6.
Got a 6, so it might be anybody between 12 and 8. So it's the Ogre next. Clab. And we got a 6 for Vape.
And 7 for Pride.
And 7 for Pride. Right, Pride.
0 for Nana.
Really?
0 for Nana.
Amazing.
Nana's got 0 initiative. Aww.
No, she's got a -1.
The most Nana thing.
She's knitting right now. She was.
Yeah.
So, no, you're up first. You are locked in a cell. The doors have been rattled and kind of bent slightly, but there's not enough to squeeze out of unless you do something to try and bend them yourself as well.
Okay. I think, having sized up the new guy, the lion fella, that he looks like he could be a useful ally along with some of these others. So I think I'm going to use my action to use my Psychic Whispers ability, and I'm going to use it on Pride,
Nice.
on Vape, and I think on Lev. And so what I do is I roll me one of these little D8 things. And that's a 7. So for 7 hours, I can speak telepathically to those creatures as long as we're within a mile of each other.
Do you have to initiate the conversation, or can they?
I would probably initiate the conversation, just because it would be weird for them to be talking in my head without realizing how.
No, but I mean, after they know that they can telepathically communicate.
Oh no, yeah, we can just communicate telepathically back and forth.
Excellent. Yeah. So either one of you can initiate as and when you need to after you've realized that you have that ability now. And that was Vape, Lev, and Pride, was it?
Correct.
Cool. You guys can all converse telepathically as needed. That's an action.
Yeah, and with my.
What does it look like? Where does it come from? Is there a visible effect from Nugs as this happens?
Yeah, you sort of. I'm visible again. That's okay. Yeah, you see this. Anyone who happens to be glancing at him at this point in time would see this flash of bright green come across his eyes, just briefly, just completely green, and then the ability has been used, and I think Priate, all of them. I think I'm going to communicate with all of them at the same time as my bonus action and be like, "Hey guys, to me, it's your little kobold friend. I'd appreciate it if you could take care of these guys and then let me out of this little cage, yeah? And we can all get along, huh?"
Lev doesn't mean to, but she thinks to herself, "Damn it, the only thing I needed was more voices in my head."
This is a new experience for me.
You, Nugs, in your time here as well, for a little exposition, in case you wanted to let the others in on this as well, you have learned that basically what's happening is they are kidnapping creatures. Usually they're going for non-humans. They're liking exotic species, as many of you are. And then they are selling them to a group that you have heard is called Dark World. And Dark World are a bunch of black market traders that will take people for whatever reasons. You also know that when Vape was brought in, there was a particular commotion, and you overheard a couple of them saying in common that they pretty sure that they've got a special buyer for him. And then they made a particular. They said some guy's name, but you don't really remember what it was.
Okay. Just an addendum to that thought. If we don't get out of here, we're gonna be sold for nefarious purposes, and that could be bad. Nugs out.
That was my working assumption.
Pen, you're up. Pen, Tammie.
Yes, sorry, we've just got someone knocking at the door, so my was going out there. And the cat basically deciding how much they love the computer. So Pen is going to use advantage of the shadows, and she's going to use that to pop out. I'm hoping that she's noticed that Lev has been slowly doing something to one of the bars.
You were in the cell next to Lev, so you definitely would have recognized it.
And so she will actually go up and give a really good kick to the bar that Lev was working on to try and help dislodge it.
The shadow step is a bonus, yeah?
Yep.
Shadow thing, yeah. So you notice his shadow is in yourself for long enough for you to sort of summon the energy to do it. Stepping from one shadow to the other, you just kind of turn into mist yourself and pass through the bars, and then you're outside of your cell easily enough. You turn around, you walk straight over to Lev's, and it gives you advantage on the next attack you make, right? The monk?
I don't think it does. I could very well be wrong.
Yeah, check that. I'm pretty sure Shadow Monk, once you use your Shadow Step, you have advantage on the next melee attack you make. Because I think the idea is you jump behind somebody and then punch them in the back of the head or whatever. Needless, I'm going to give you advantage because why not? Let's go.
I'm thinking, I don't know if really jumping out behind a cell door really makes a difference.
True. But it's also not moving out of the way. So I'll give you advantage on the attack. Make an attack roll, and if it's enough, you've managed to dislodge the one that Lev was starting to acid splash.
Okay.
You are correct about the advantage on the first melee attack.
There you go. Natural 20 for a 28 total.
That will definitely do it. With a swift Spartan kick, you just push this thing in from where the acid was. It bends in quite far. You've got a good foot of space at the bottom of it that's completely empty, and then another foot past that you could probably squeeze through. I'd say that Lev, you're a relatively lithe tiefling, right? You can probably squeeze through the gap that you've made now. It's not going to be comfortable. It's going to probably take your entire movement just to get through it, but you will be out of the space on your turn.
I absolutely pictured it just smack me in the face like a rake in the cartoon when you mentioned it. It just goes, and I was like, oh, damn it.
Roll the damage, you get a rusty acid metal spike in the eye. All right, Pen, that was your attack. You got another attack or bonus?
No, because the bonus action was teleporting out. But I will go and take a spot near the door that the other ones are going to come through.
Excellent. You break Lev out, and you think, well, that was easier than I thought it would be. So you turn over and you're like, I still got time to kill. You walk over to where the front door is, and you are right on the inside of the dungeon doors that that Riff and Raff are about to come through. Thank you for the donation. All right. After Pen's turn, it is Riff and Raff's turn. They will unlock the door. You can hear the clicking of keys. The doors swing open, and they start to walk in, and immediately see Pen on the outside of the cage. They're coming in with the intent of just telling Clarb off for destroying cages again. Clarb, get away from the prisoners! And then as they see you, they're out, and they start to call. And it seems any sort of surprise you've gotten, sort of sneaking your way out of this escape route, is probably getting off the table exceedingly quickly. As the Riff and Raff are now calling for backup as well. They're not going to arrive obviously on this round, but give it time, and you'll have more and more people to deal with on your way out of this prison. Riff and Raff both draw their swords out. They move in. It's a relatively difficult space for them to fight, so they can't do their usual double attack. So they'll just attack you separately. Pen, that is going to be an 18 to hit. And then from the other guy, it's going to be a 19 to hit. You are muted.
19 hits, but 18 misses.
Excellent. All right, so one of them is a little too close to the wall to hit you, but the second guy hits you for 11 points of slashing damage with his sword. And that is because they didn't both hit. They can't do their double attack thing. That is Riff and Raff's turn. Lev, it is your turn. You are in a cell. Use your whole movement to get onto the other side of your cell, but then you'll have your action and bonus action. Muted.
I'm muted. I'm muted. So I haven't actually come out of the cell yet. I have to squish my way through, or can I? Feel like there might be stuff I can do from here anyway.
From here, you can see Clab. You can't see Riff and Raff from inside your cell.
And Riff and Raff are the ones that are going to murder everybody.
Riff and Raff are halfling guards, and they are fighters, and they have plate armor
on. Is there a way that I can? How much armor does Pen have?
Pen? What armor do you have?
Our target's based AC becomes.
Needless to say, you were also.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be worth.
Yeah. Other than things you were secreted away for those two.
Yeah. No, she doesn't have any armor on, and I presumed I didn't have the quarterstaff.
I think your AC is already more than this would probably benefit, anyways. I was looking at mage armor to be helpful.
No,
yeah.
So Pen's with the monk stuff. Her armor class is 19 already.
Yeah. Yeah, whoop. Might as well cast it on myself.
Yeah. Monks are one of the best people to do an escape from prison thing, because it's like, you take all your weapons off you, I've got weapons right here.
Yeah. These are my weapons.
What are you going to do? I'm unarmored and I've got weapons built in.
I'm going to try to slip closer to Nana's cell to check up on Nana and make sure that she's good.
All right. With all of your movement, you can get out of the cell, and you're right in front of Nana's cell. She was opposite yours anyway.
Yeah.
So Nana, you see Lev getting out of the cell in front of you. You can see Pen's just gotten out. You can hear that other people are getting out as their respective bars are getting bent for all over left, right, and centre. You've got an action, Lev. Is there anything you want to do with it? You have guidance from Nana. If you needed to do something and add a D4 to it, you can. Oh, now that you're out of the cell, you can now see Riff and Raff as well.
Oh, cool. Will it pain anyone if I just Eldritch Blast them again?
Do it.
Let's do it. Let's see what happens. I am exhausted.
Roll an attack. You have two Eldritch Blasts at this level. So are you targeting both at one of them, or one at two guys?
I think I'll try to hit both to see if I can at least destabilize them enough for other people to have some kind of advantage. Yeah.
Roll an attack.
23.
23 hits. roll the other attack, just see if it goes off.
21.
Yeah. So again, these green eyes, and then these crackling energy comes out of your hands, hits them both. Roll damage on both of them.
First one is 10, and the other one's 11.
Right. They are not yet looking wounded or bloodied, but they definitely have been hit by that. They sort of. You can do a pushback with one of them, right? Your Eldritch Blast. You have an Eldritch Invocation. I was checking your sheet earlier that can push people back when you hit them.
Can I? Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Riff gets pushed away from Pen, 10 foot back out of the doorway into the hole beyond. And you hear a clattering of metal as he slams into the wall out there. All right, that is your turn, Lev. Clarb it's his turn. I was going to say it's your turn. No, it's me. Clarb is going to reach in and with his brass knuckles just take a smack at you, Pride. DeeTwenty has 2 advantages and NVC has 1. All right, smacking against you, Pride. That is definitely going to hit with a dirty 20, I believe. Yeah.
Hits.
Then I'm used to people having low ACs, so I was like, oh yeah, definitely. So actually, we're in a relatively mid-level campaign. With his second attack, 19 on the dice plus stuff will hit. So he is going to do. The first one is 16 points of bludgeoning damage. And the next one is 10. As he bam, just with 2 huge hefty strikes with knuckle dusters on, smacks into you. That's his turn. He's not going to do anything. He doesn't even seem to realize that all of the other commotion around him, as he's dumb. He's not very perceptive at all. Pride, it's now your turn. Retaliate.
Is he still floating?
yeah, true. So he was holding on to the top of the gate that he just bent back, and he was just using that to kind of like propel himself in. Whack, whack. Doesn't seem to understand what's going on to him.
So, DM, I'd like to try some shenanigans here. Pride would like to reach up and pull him into the cell while pulling himself out. So it's a kind of cartwheel twist.
Try and get in there. Okay.
Yeah, push the floating balloon into the top of the cell to get him as far away.
We can certainly try. He, being a large ogre, is going to be a pretty big squeeze to get into this 5-foot square of yours, but it's certainly possible. So what you're going to do is it's definitely going to be an acrobatic thing here. It's going to be acrobatics, and then to sort of like get you around.
Yep.
And then if you succeed on like a push check, you can push him into the cell that you were in.
Okay. I'll do that. Thank you. So let's give it a go. And that is a 15.
15 is enough to acrobatic your way out of the bent top of your cell door. You climb up and over. You grab a hold of him for
so the claws come out and I just wrench him into the space.
And then you can make a push attack, which is one of your 2 attacks. And if this succeeds against his, he's going to have disadvantage because he's floating. He doesn't have a lot of purchase.
Sure.
Ooh, that's not good.
That's a 21, DM.
Yeah, so even with an ogre's strength, he rolled really badly, and that definitely beats it. You push him in, and he goes down headfirst into the cell, and he's just like floating, levitating, feet upwards. He's upside down, levitating in this very cramped space for him. He can probably clamber out of the hole that you've just pushed him into, but it's going to be a bit of a mission for him. That's one of your 2 attacks. You technically have another.
Again, just looking at the map, is it any way to get one of the pea buckets to throw over? I'm looking to cause darkness in here because most of us can see in the dark.
Yes. All right, so now that you're out of the cell, you're about 5 feet from one of the torches. You can just grab it, and I'll say as your attack,
so
just extinguish it.
Yeah, Pride just distinguish it because he's got line fighting, so darkness isn't really his problem.
You reach out, you extinguish that top torch that you can see. There's still one down in the bottom corner that you can get to on your next turn if necessary. But the top half of the cell is really quite dim at this point. Wonderful. That's you then, Pride. Vape, you're up.
How sealed is the door that is containing the ogre? Not at all?
It's a regular sort of 5-foot cell door. But only the top of it was bent open, like folded back like a dog-eared piece of paper. So not very open.
If I tried to use Whistler's force-empowered rend to weld it shut again.
I'd allow an attempt at it, yeah.
I will definitely use my advantage on this as well.
All right, so Whistler comes over to Pride's cell, and as Riff and Raff are fighting with Pen, well, one of them, the other one's been pushed back. He reaches up, something comes out of him. What does it look like?
It is, he has several different little protuberances, but this one is basically a blowtorch. But the it breathes out. It expels. That's the word I was looking for. Very pink fire, and it focuses down into a very narrow beam, and then just sort of works its way up the door. Yeah.
So just sort of as it's going, it's kind of like pushing a tire back into place. He's starting at it's actually still connected, and it's pulling the rest of it that was bent back into position. Make a check of some kind. What's this going to be? Force empowered rend's like technically an attack usually, right?
An attack, yeah.
I'm gonna say roll that attack then, and I'll just set what the DC is.
Very well. That is a 13 on the dice. Let me just find the. Oh, where is he? Where's he gone? Where's my chap? There he is. Still defender.
18, so I think it'll probably say yellow.
Yes, I think it is actually 18 is what it gets. Plus 7. There you go. So a filthy 20.
Yeah, 20. So that will work then. Yes, you managed to weld the you know, it's not a perfect job all the way around, but it's enough to like he has to make a check to get out now rather than just like straight up climbing out.
I did, if you want, I did 8 points of force damage to repair this door.
force healing to this door. You use this the magic of your Whistler and DM narrative to weld some of this door shut again. Definitely not going to hold an ogre fully, but it'll hold him for a little while maybe. That's your bonus action still.
That's the Steel Defender's turn. I haven't done anything my own self yet. My action will be to cast heat metal on the breast, the chest, like basically the hardest part to remove of plate mail.
Yeah. Oh, sure. So you presumably using your movement to actually get out of your cell?
Yes, yeah.
So you come out of the cell, you can see Riff and Raff, one of them just, as you get out of the cell, one of them gets blasted back by something from down one of the cells. You can kind of hear, another voice coming right before the Eldritch Blast. That's just kind of like just like an enjoyment of something that is watching this power right before this blast comes out from that direction. And
right.
And you have a telepathic connection to the person that's casting.
Yeah.
Then the other one that doesn't get pushed back, you just heat metal on the breastplate of them. What does heat metal look like when Vape casts it?
Vape looks at him and cocks his head slightly and says, "You require radiation." As in you're not radiating enough heat, and it's like a microwave emitter built into his hand, so you can't see anything. He just heats up.
Oh yeah. Pen, you can feel this heat radiating from I think it was Raff that stuck around. He's taken a blast to the chest with this like power that you've not seen before, and then all of a sudden you can see his chest plate starting to glow a little bit. That's not going to be pleasant. 11
fire damage,
right.
And he must make a con save, I believe.
He can't succeed on it.
He can't drop it.
Nope.
Yeah, so he has disadvantage on his attack rolls.
Attacks, yeah. Can't take it off. It's a real bummer when you're in full plate and somebody heat metals on it. It's like an instant killer. All right, that is Vape. Nana, you're up.
I'll be right back.
What can you do from your cell?
So can Nana see anybody?
Yes, from your cell you can see Lev right outside your cell, who's just blasted a couple of guys. You can see those two. Well, you can see Raff. You can see Rift has just been pushed out of your line of sight, out of the dungeon that you're in. You can see Pen, and you can see that Raph is now starting to glow from his breastplate.
Okay.
And you're in the cell next to a giant ogre now. The ogre's in the adjoining cell.
So for it's so I can see one of the two halflings, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna cast command at second level. So I'm gonna target one of the halflings and then the other one because they are within 30 feet of the other one.
Oh, wonderful.
Disregard.
How appropriate a time for that new donation, which is
Weird.
The donation to get disadvantage
What a
on the
coincidence.
GM against any roll that is not against Wabba. Wow.
Too
I've got
bad.
disadvantage against any roll that is not against you. And this is the spell that you're casting.
Too bad this
so
is
it
character
against you.
Nana.
So this is a spell.
There is no Wabba character, there's only a Nana.
Exactly, right? So I can use disadvantage on anything.
Yes.
All right. I'll use the disadvantage on this. And he has to make, we'll say Raph first. With a wisdom save, that's going to be a... 6 plus stuff won't do it. So Raph will fail, and then Riff is outside, and will possibly also fail with a 12? Will a 12 fail?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So both of them will fail. What's the command word that you use?
Shower.
Okay. Oh man, that's a good one. Oh man, I literally made a bathroom for this place, and so they're gonna have to go towards the bathroom and get in a shower. There's like just the adjoining room down. Oh man, you'll see. All right. Can you make me a wild image check, please?
Oh, okay. 100.
Yeah, D100. And NVC, can you make a wild surge check, please?
77.
77. All right. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
A flat 30.
Oh, okay. That'll happen at the start of your turn. Remind me when it comes around.
No worries.
Might be really useful or really, really bad.
Ooh, did I do that correctly? I think I did. 17?
17. 17 will... Ooh, just succeed. All right. So you feel like as you cast this command, you feel like your body is kind of getting forcefully shifted and morphed and turned into something else as you cast polymorph on yourself. But you succeeded. But you succeeded the saving throw, and you do not succumb to it.
Heck of a place to build a prison, this ley line.
I have not forgotten the extra donation. Yes, they are joining the fight. All right. What'd you say, sorry, Wab?
Oh, just a heck of a place to build this prison on top of this ley line. Boy.
I know, right? Crazy. All right. Nana, you did your command. That's an action. You got a bonus action for anything? You got movement? Not you can just do circles around your cell.
Just gonna continue knitting.
just keep knitting. Keep knitting. All right, back to the top of the round with Nugs. Nugs, at the top of your turn, some sort of magical crackling energy comes from you, and I'm going to roll. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different creatures. So let's roll a d10 twice. We've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've got 8. 8. Vape and the ogre, you switch places. So the
oh dear.
So the cell that you have just welded shut becomes Vape's prison, as two random creatures within 30 feet of you switch places. And the ogre is now outside, and Vape is on the inside. As this crackling energy just sort of collapses like a bubble popping around both of you, collapsing inwards and then rebounding outwards, switching one for the other. At the start of your turn, that happened, Nugs, and then what?
Okay. So I can reach through the bars in this cage, right?
Yes, you can reach through them easily enough.
Okay. Who's closest? Which enemy is closest to me?
From you can now see the ogre. The ogre has just popped into where Vape was, and he was standing just outside of Vape's cage, and you were conversing with him before, so you can see the ogre.
Okay. Well, in this case, I'm going to take an attack action, and anyone who happens to be looking nearby sees this green glow appears in Nugs' eyes again, and it manifests this little green dagger of energy in his hand, which I'm going to throw at the ogre.
Oh, nice.
Use my psychic blades.
Can't be disarmed if you can conjure blades with your mind.
That's right. That's why I'm always underestimated.
Make your attack.
So that's a 14. One away out of +8 is
That'll hit.
was it 22?
That'll hit. Roll damage.
Okie dokie.
The ogre is a big sack of hit points, but not hard to hit.
That's 8 damage.
8 damage
And-
to Clarb.
Then I'm going to use my bonus action to do the same thing with my offhand. Manifest another blade.
Do it.
That's a 17 +8.
It'll hit.
So I think that's going to hit. This is only a D4 though. So that's 4 +5 is 9 damage.
Damage, all right. Clab's looking fine, doesn't seem to have noticed too much as two of these daggers stick into him and then immediately dissipate into green energy. Wonderful. Anything that was your attack and bonus action. You can't really do any movement unless you want to pace yourself. So that is Nugs done. Pen, you're up. You're in close quarters combat with Raph. He is heated though, so if you hit him anywhere in the torso, you'll take fire damage from hitting a heated metal plate.
And so Riff was pushed back out of the room.
Riff was pushed back into the corridor through the doors that are still standing open. You do hear noise from next door, like outside of the corridor, outside of this dungeon room now. You can see that it opens out into a stone corridor. None of you knew the layout of this place too much because you were brought in with hoods over your heads. But you can now hear that from the commotion, there's sounds of other guards coming on.
Okay, so is there a way that I can move towards Riff without breaking?
Yep, if you sort of circle around him, just like fighter style, do your little fast footwork, you can circle around Raph. You can be outside of the door, just on the square immediately on the outside of the door, and you can be between them both. You'll be in melee of both of them.
So I'll do that, and I will flurry of blows the one that won't give me heat, or not flurry blows. I will unarmed strike the one that won't give me heat damage.
Smart. All right.
And not do very well with an 11.
11 unfortunately will not hit a guy in plate armor. To be clear as well, you are a martial artist, you're trained in it, you're a very high level monk. You can probably hit Ruff without hitting his metal armor. You can go for his legs, go for his head. But if you roll particularly low, I might say that you glance across his chest or whatever, or he might like deflect your blow across his chest, give you a point or two. So it's not like you can't attack Ruff.
Okay. I will hit Raph then, and I will use Flurry of Blows.
Right. So you've used one attack. You get 2 attacks, and then another 2 from Flurry of Blows.
Okay, so my second, my Flurry of Blows, first one is 24.
Ooh, definitely hits.
And that does 9 bludgeoning.
9 bludgeoning to Raph. All right,
My
he's starting to look wounded. Not looking good at all.
Okay, my second one from Flurry of Blows is only a 12.
12, unfortunately, will miss. So there was a miss on Riff and a strike on Claude. You pop him right in the head.
And then my
again with Raph because you were avoiding the heated body parts and like a bit too cautious. And then you've got your second attack,
which was a 24
on Raph as well, or on?
Yep.
On
Yep.
Raph? All right, 24 definitely hits. Roll that damage.
Minimum damage is only 6.
I mean, every little helps. He's definitely looking wounded. Raph has seen better days. He's a little bit dazed and out of it, but now you are flanked by them, and it is now their turn. They are going to, and now you've gone and put yourself into a flanked position with them, and this is exactly what they want from you because this is how they fight best when they're in this situation.
I have no illusions she's probably going to have to be dragged out of there, but at least she's buying other people time.
You certainly are. So when they're in this, I don't tend to use flanking in my rules. I use surrounded instead. So 3-on-1 gets you advantage, but just flanking doesn't. However, Riff and Ref are different. They can get advantage if they flank somebody.
Just to check, are these two gonna go shower?
Oh yes, thank you for the reminder. Yes, it is their turn now. So they do not get their advantage. They're going to go shower. Thank you for the reminder, Wabba.
One of them is cooking in his armor.
Yeah.
Do I get to have an opportunity attack as they withdraw? Yes.
Damn it! I didn't get to use their cool shit that I would made. They were like a double team master, and if they both hit you with an attack, they can get an automatic 20 on their next attack and stuff. Anyway, they're not going to get you to use that because they both leave your melee range to go and shower. As one of them is like, I'm so hot. He starts unbuckling pauldrons. I need to get out of this. Riff, help me. Riff, I need to shower. I need to cool down. And Riff's like, no, I'm going to shower first. I'm really sweaty. He's like, sweaty? You're kidding me. Look at me. I'm literally cooking alive. Riff, help me. And they move out of your melee range. Pen, you can attack one of them with your reaction because you only get one reaction.
So I'm doing Raf because I've done damage to them already.
One looking worse stuff.
Yeah. So I got 24 on that one.
Oh, nice. That hits.
And 7 damage.
7 damage. Oh, he's on his last legs. Is Raf? You just crack him. You are. Oh no, you're not. I was thinking you could knock him over as well. That's a different type of monk. He almost goes down entirely, stumbles, catches his leg, stands up again, just beelines for the next door. And as he gets to it and opens it, you can see that there are other people on the other side of that door. You and you alone at this stage can see down that corridor that I've just put in the Discord. You can see that there are 3 other doors on this corridor. The one on the left wall that you can, so the bottom wall as you're looking at it, is opening into seemingly some kind of barracks because that's where you can now hear the other guards getting ready and about to arrive at that door. But Raf got there first. The door on the top side that's closest, that one opens as well, and you can hear sort of sounds of a kitchen coming from that direction. But Riff also just moves past. They use their whole movement and movement and dash as their actions to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They just burst into the into the barracks room. I will now give you all in the Discord a screenshot of the whole place because you're going to piece it together before long anyway. They moved into this very bottom left corner where there is indeed a bathroom that I created for the barracks. Just, I didn't expect anybody to actually need the bathroom, but I'm the sort of person who can't create a thing without thinking all of the logistics through. Being like, well, I have to have a place to poop. So they're going to run over there trying to have a shower. That was their whole turn. Thank you for that, Wabba. Really appreciate it as always. Lev, you're up.
Is our ogre lad still? He's still around.
He is still around.
How
he was
close?
locked into a cell and then removed with wild magic.
How close am I to him?
You are. You are. Let me tell you in feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet away, and around like a bit of a corner.
Okay, so I won't be able to reach him. I have to be in melee range to use my vampiric touch.
Yes, yeah, you can get to him with your movement.
If I can, I would like to do that.
You can see in darkness, I assume. Yeah, you're a tiefling, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see in the darkness. You're plunged into darkness. There's this kind of in your mind.
Yeah, my brain's just like feed, and everyone else can hear it, and I'm just like shh.
Shush, they can hear you. Shush. You're on speakerphone.
You said the in your head part out loud.
So you run over to the ogre, vampiric touch. Reach out. What does it look like? Does it come from your hand? You just
my hand gets coated in shadow and just like grab him, and
at least tries to.
Yeah.
Is it a saving throw from him or an attack from you?
I think it's attack from me, which is 26.
26 hits. I think with a modifier like that, you must. Yeah, I don't think you can miss him.
No. And then 22 damage.
Woo-wee, club. Looking bad, mate.
I got 3 6s.
Just like life starts to suck out of him. You can see his skin stretches tight and gaunt over his skull. Stop! Ow! Stop! That is your turn. That's your whole turn, is it?
I have healed. Yes.
Nice. All right.
That's what I wanted. I just wanted a little padding.
Nice. Clab. It's me. Do that every time. Clab is going to retaliate against you then. That makes sense. He sees you right in front. He's going to try and whack. In fact, this will be fun. He's going to do his bear grapple, his bear hug attack. Which is going to be, yep, that's going to hit with the first one to grapple, and the next one is going to do the crushing.
Is he still floating?
The wild magic happened at the start of this round, so yes, he is actually still floating. I will give him disadvantage on that grapple check, which would have been the second of the two. So that's a 19 to hit your armor class, Lev. I think that'll hit. And then the attack with disadvantage to... Oh, nice. So he's grappling you but not able to crush, because the second one was with disadvantage, and that one. Because he's floating, he's going to have a harder time grabbing and crushing. Although, makes no sense that he would have disadvantage to crush you if he's already grappled.
Once he's grappled, he would have advantage anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So he does, with his first attack, it's something called meaty slam down on Lev from above as he's floating. He just reaches down, wham, grabs both sides, brings her in, and that second one is just a... and Lev, gets back to the computer anyway, is going to take 17 points of crushing damage. Not
Squishing Warlock.
And she is grappled by him. That is Lev. Any other donations? There's still one to come, but they're not on the field yet. That's Clab. Move anywhere? He didn't need to move anywhere. Pride, you're up.
Pride sees a floating target. Do I get advantage on taking it since it's grappling someone or not?
I'll say you don't get advantage. I might have given you advantage if he wasn't like bear hugging one of your allies.
That's fine.
You'd have to
That's okay.
avoid hitting him.
Don't ask, you don't get. So he leaps in the air and then double arms because A, he's naked, because I was the only one who had armor. But fortunately, I'm a lion. So claws come out and he reaches back and basically goes for a double rake on that. So attacks twice. Just for the dramatic pause, as he reaches back and breaths, that's where he takes his second wind, just sucks in all the air and heals up because he was close to being dead. Good times. So I'll do my two attacks. Wow, all those weapons I had, Rob, I just scroll past them now and go to the claw.
For now.
Yep.
This is the escape portion of the three-part... behind the curtains for everybody watching. I asked everybody here, like, what kind of a thing do you want? Do you want to tell, like, a fetch quest or an escort mission? Do you want, like, a heist or, like, an escape mission? And they were like, we want an escape mission, a heist mission, and a save the world mission. And I was like, let's do this.
How's that going for you, Rob?
It's going great. We've almost got out of the escape mission part of it because you're still in the room and two of you are still locked up.
At 22 for the first one, and I'm going to use another reroll on that natural one because no one likes a natural one.
No, in my games, nat one is the potential for friendly fire only if somebody's within range of it. So
22 and 26 in that case.
Both definitely hit.
And that is a total of 14 points of slashing damage. So
club.
Come up and then just massively rake down the there we go.
Well at all. He's looking bloodied. He's got a few hit points left in him, being a big kind of tank of hit points, but he's definitely seen better days. Blood starts to pour from his wounds onto the ground below him as he's levitating. That's your whole turn, Pride.
That's me done.
Yeah,
let's stay within space. Yep.
Oh yeah, Vape, you're in a cell now.
Vape is like
cell of your own construction.
So Whistler's blowtorch has still been going up, just stops, changes to green, and starts going back down again.
Do it again.
Neither of them express any irritation, but there is clearly a Vape appears there, and then his eyes do the spinny wheel very briefly. And anybody sharing his mind links, he hears him say, "Fuck."
I know, this is the worst.
So Whistler attempts to now free Babe.
Nice. Make that
Babe-
force round attack. I'll allow the same thing to both cut and heal, because why not? Lev, you got pulled right after Vampiric touching the ogre. He reached down, he grappled you, and then he bear crushed you for 17 damage.
Ow.
If a 19 hits your armor class, which I think it does.
Yes.
I got a 19 to hit
Yes,
with the plus
will do
7.
It will cut the door loose, but now it needs to be bent open again because
It actually did 11 points of damage.
There you go. So it's cut through a couple of it's cut the welding that it did, and then a couple of the bars at the top as well.
Yeah.
That's your Whistler's turn. Now it's your
So
turn.
Vape would like to extricate himself, if possible, from this
It's going to be another
new
strength.
spell.
Yes, it's going to be another strength check to now bend this bars. It's a relatively low DC comparatively to the bars as normal because it's already been bent once.
A 10.
10 will not do it, unfortunately. You're trying to reach up and bend these bars out, they're just not like they have been bent down and then back up again by your own doing, but yeah, 10's just not quite enough. That's your
Very
action,
well.
But you've got bonus if you've got bonus for anything.
Yeah. Can I use my Flash of Genius to add +4 to that bend?
You can, yes. Very good.
I'm trying, and then I'm just like, Then I click my wrist back, and a small blade comes out, like a small spinning circular saw comes out, and I just.
I was thinking with it being Flash of Genius, you might be like, apply some sort of genius, like, the fulcrum point of the physics of this. It means that I don't need to apply quite as much energy if I.
Vape is smart, Josh is not.
You apply a Flash of Genius to decide on the physics of where to bend the thing properly, and with a 14, you don't get all the way out, but you've got it enough that with the rest of your movement, you can get like halfway out if you want. All right, so you are halfway out of the thing. You're essentially restrained by the door, but on your next turn, you can use your movement to unrestrain yourself. Nana, how's that knitting coming?
Well, a very nice scarf going so far. But Nana just realized that it's actually summer right now, and maybe she could put this away for a little bit. I can't remember. Is Lev is near the top of the initiative order, right?
Right in the middle, smack in the middle. It goes Nugs, and then Redacted, and then Pen, Riff, Lev, Clab, Pride, Vape, Nana.
Gotcha. Okay. So
I'm easy about that redacted.
Okay. Now I've realized that standardly the speed is 0 when she does this, but Nana would like to attempt to retract into her shell and just sort of roll at the door, just like, oh, I think I'll put this away from now. Here, let me come out and meet you, dearie, and just sort of roll on forward.
Throw into it. All right, this is fun. So let's make a strength check.
Okay.
I will give you.
And
Let's see.
I think I have advantage on strength saving rolls inside the shell.
There you go. We'll say give you it with advantage then. Slam you against the inside of your door. And don't forget, people watching, any donations you can do, you can give advantage to these guys. You can give them wild surges. You can affect the game. There's even a nat 20 token that you can just give them. It'll give them automatic nat 20s on things.
13.
13, unfortunately, is not quite enough. You managed to put a dent in one of the metal bars. With another one like that, you might be able to shear that lock, but as a single attack, that's not going to do it.
Oh dear, I'm a bit dizzy now. Ooh, give me a sec.
You didn't have much of a run-up. You only had 5 health.
You went from sitting and knitting to straight, just rolling forward.
Straight up smacking yourself into an iron bar. You're probably a little bit... Oh.
The head comes back up, wrapped in wool.
Yeah, the wool's all around your head.
Oh dear.
Cartoon style.
Hang on.
Bonus action for anything?
No.
No.
Oh wait, actually, is Lev hurt at all?
Lev?
I'm quite hurt, yes.
Lev's got bear
I
crush.
was good, and then I got crushed.
You run up to the ogre to get into melee with him, which is always a good idea as a squishy warlock.
Well, I needed the health, and I thought,
Oh yeah. By the way, Vampiric Touch is a concentration spell, and you got crushed for a bunch of damage. Can you make a concentration save for me, please? That's a Constitution saving throw. You need to beat a 10.
7.
7. Vampiric Touch faded when you got bear crushed.
DM, can I offer an advantage to my wonderful colleague? One of my dice?
How?
Well, I give her one.
Your advantage
Yes.
things?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. I thought you were going to do something to help out. So you can offer an advantage token.
Moral support at the
Yeah.
point in time. Flexing.
I was like, yeah, how is you raking your claws down the road? Concentrate.
Does that mean I should roll again?
Please.
Yes, you can roll again with an advantage.
It was
token
16.
provided by Pride. There you go. You managed to concentrate on your Vampiric Touch, meaning you can just try it again without the cost of a spell slot next turn.
You mean a line and a loincloth isn't enough inspiration, Rob? What's wrong with you?
Strikes a pose.
Say a
Ooh, I
lion,
feel so
say
much
a lion,
better.
a lion cloth.
No, she's
So
trying,
when
she's trying to concentrate, though. That's going to make her not.
In case the loincloth's not enough, dear, here's a quick a healing word.
As someone who spent the last 2 weeks binging Grey's Anatomy.
A lion cloth. All right. Roll that healing word for Lev, and we'll move on to Nugs. You're up.
I'm still stuck in the cell.
You are still stuck in the cell. Somebody can try and get you out, but it's without that. There's an escape happening without you.
Okay.
You could try and like jimmy the lock with your psychic blade.
Yeah, could I try and like manifest a psychic blade inside the lock to try and break it?
Certainly can try. Yeah, make an attack roll. Your psychic blades. What was the healing word?
8.
8 points of healing, Lev.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will be enough to feel like the you've conjured it right, like credit card style, between the two latches, as it were, and you feel something click, and the door swings open.
Uggs is immediately overcome by the sense that he probably should have done this several days
A week
ago.
And he was invisible, say.
I'm back in the game, baby.
Something about being in a fight just got your adrenaline pumping, gets your brain thinking different strategies.
And I would like to use my bonus action to attack the ogre with my other psychic blade. If I hit, will it be subject to my sneak attack?
It will, because he's within 5 feet of a lot of things.
Excellent. Let's see if I hit. It's no joke, a natural 20.
Woo! This is going to kill it for sure. So with all of the sneak attack at this level, and it's maxed, and the way that I do crits is that you just max out everything you could have possibly rolled, and then roll one more on top of that. So it's definitely going to kill him. How would you kill him? In the sternum, in the face, in the throat? What?
I think it's just going to go straight through the chest. Just this green energy blade.
He's just sort of bear crushed Lev up to his chest, and then as he kind of readjusts to do it again, he kind of like moves her around to get a better angle to like break her back. And as he just pulls her away from the chest, you see that slight opening into the into the chest, the sternum. The psychic blade hits, and right before the energy of the psychic blade fades, he pulls Lev towards himself in a big bear crush. And her back pushes the psychic blade deep into his sternum and pierces his heart as he bear crushes himself to death. His arms go immediately limp, and Lev, you fall. Can I have a dexterity saving throw from you, Lev, as you are falling 5 feet towards the stone ground?
8.
His levitating position. An 8. You are going to take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall, and I'll have a concentration check to see if that 2 points drops your.
Well,
Fine.
meanwhile, my brain, my voice in my head is just like, take that, fool.
You drop to the ground. The ogre dies and does not come crushing down on top of you because he's levitating still. The body is levitating.
That's awful macabre.
Yeah,
Ties a string.
Yeah, just floating dead ogre with you. That is your whole turn, Nugs? Is that right?
I think so. I was like, all right, let's get out of here.
All right, as you say that and start heading towards the door, you hear that the other guards have finally gotten their stuff together and started making their way out. And coming out from the kitchen door is a you almost feel the heat, particularly you, Pen, you're closest and you can see it. You feel the heat coming down the corridor that seems like the receding heat of Ruff's heated metal body, and you can still hear him going, "Ow! Ow, it burns! Get me in the shower, quick!" But the heat is from some other creature, as coming round from the corner is another creature of about Raph's size, as a halfling, made and dressed in plate armor as well, but instead of halfling body, he's got flames. This creature is an Azer, and as he comes around the corner from the kitchen with a boiling bowl of soup in his hands, in his flaming hands, keeping the soup nice and hot, he comes around and he's like, "What's all of this? What's all of this rackets in here? I'm trying to work in here." And he sees you coming out, Pen. So the Azer is going to run towards you. He's going to cover that distance of the corridor, and then he's going to throw boiling soup at you. This is going to be a cone effect, essentially, so you're going to need to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid it.
Oh, I don't get to use evasion on this because it's not a group thing. Damn.
What do you mean? It's a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, yes. I get to use evasion.
It's almost like I just gave you a dexterity saving throw, like I said.
I know.
You remembered your evasion.
So I rolled a 17.
Ooh, 17 succeeds against the boiling soup. And because you are a monk, you take no damage when you would have otherwise taken half.
Yes.
So what does it look like as this boiling soup comes towards you?
Okay, so Pen sees this boiling
soup. Do you jump up and grab something in the ceiling, or what?
Well, I was thinking that she could almost do like a run up and around the door jam.
I love it. Yes, you see this boiling soup. You just jump to the side. Your momentum takes you onto the wall. You are almost at the level as a monk where you can run up solid surfaces. So it's a thing you've been practicing. You almost get there. You kind of feel your gravity sort of sloshing towards the wall to keep you onto it, but you haven't quite practiced that ability yet. But your momentum is enough to get you up and over as the soup sloshes against the stonework. You land down again, almost superhero landing onto the pile of soup, not slipping. And the Azer and its turn next to you. That's all it can do. The guards will start to file out into the corridor as well. In order to get to your equipment that was taken from you guys, you need to work your way along this corridor, past these guards, and into that far end room where they have been holding all of your stuff, if you want your stuff. Otherwise, you can just leg it out now, because the corridor to your right is completely open, and there are stairways that lead out, up and out.
I definitely want my stuff.
That is the guard's turn. Pen, it is now your turn, as you've just evaded the Azer's super attack.
Okay, so I'm actually going to make a run for the stuff.
All right.
If I know where it's being held.
The Azer, yes. Darting around the Azer. If you want to continue along the corridor before the guards file out into the corridor, the Azer will get an attack of opportunity.
Can I port past him?
Oh, you can, yes. Actually, no. Wait. The light is unfortunately not quite dim enough for that.
Darn. That's all right.
There is outside here in the corridor, because Riff and Raph are outside the doors always, and they're playing cards and reading books and passing the time as they are guarding. They do need the light, so there is a bit of light here. You can use an attack to quench actually, what am I saying? There's a flaming man in front of you.
I was about to say the Azer.
even if you quench the torchlight, he's
put the soup bowl over him.
A bit.
Be fine.
Yeah, no, not dark enough for that. So he will get an attack opportunity if you run for your stuff.
Yes.
You good with that? All right. In that case, that is a 19 plus stuff that will hit.
Yes, it will.
He just reaches out for you, and you take 9 points of fire damage. Just kind of grabs at you. He doesn't manage to grapple you though, so you then leave his melee range. You run past the doorway to the guard's hut, and you can kind of look into the left. You see that there's bunk beds and a bearskin rug on the ground. There's about 4 guards in there that are starting to get ready and move out. They're not all wearing plate armor. They're just wearing like regular clothing, as they weren't on duty. And I say guards, they're more like thugs, really. They're working for this crime organization. But they are well equipped, at least. They've all got swords. One of them is at the doorway, so as you run past him, he also takes an attack of opportunity. He's through a doorway, though, so I'm going to give him disadvantage on it. That's a 4 or a 4 again. And you avoid the attack of opportunity as you spin past the doorway. You are feeling so inspired by that you have advantage. Thank you for the donation. You, with your movement, what's your ridiculous monk movement? It's like 706.
No, it's only 45 at this level.
45 is exactly how long this corridor is. You managed to make it all the way to the door of the equipment room.
Okay, so I'll use my action to grab my stuff.
Well, you'll need to get into the equipment room.
Oh,
Grab your
damn.
stuff. You're just at the door of it. You're in the corridor.
Okay.
You can use your action to bust open this door, which you assume is probably locked.
I'll still try and bash it.
Make an attack against the door.
Not very well. 12.
A 12, not too bad. It's a wooden door. You do manage to... It doesn't go all the way through, but with that first attack, it starts to splinter. Make your second attack.
I'm so not used to having only one screen at the moment. 27 on the second one.
27. And just to remind you, you just got advantage from the donation from...
I'm saving
as you were
that.
running down the, yeah, fair enough. 27 definitely hits. That second one breaks open the door. It slams open, and you can see that there is a sort of closet cabinet off to your immediate right. There are weapons racks in here. There's shields. There's a couple of suits of armor. There's lots of things that these guys have just stolen from their kidnappees. That's your hold. You got a bonus action. Bonus action. Right?
So
As a monk.
bonus action. I can't use that for movement. I'll use my bonus action to.
I mean, you can if you spend a key point.
Oh,
bonus action dash as a monk.
Yep, I'll do that.
All right, you spend a key point to bonus action dash, step of the wind into the room proper. You have a good look around. You can get to any of the things. You just can't really start looting them until your next turn. Which is where are we? That was Pen. It is now Riff and Raff who continue their journeys, fighting up the doorways into the shower. And I will now take them out of the initiative because there's no way in hell that they're coming back.
Hey, Rob.
In fact, Raff will take fire damage and die before he can get out of that.
Well, I actually have to do it deliberately.
Oh, you have to choose to do it. Oh.
It's a bonus action to maintain doing it. I will.
That's right.
I
will.
I have to use my bonus action to command my Still Defender. So that's what I did last turn. But
Okay.
this next turn, I will be burning Raff to death.
Keep burning. Somebody wanted me?
No, I just wondered the smell of the soup and the burning halfling. Do they go well together?
They
Or
probably do. Yes. There's
an appealing aroma.
Bit of, cooked searing flesh.
I really could eat.
Although it does have that smell of like burning hair as well. So its body hair's not the nicest thing. Lev, it's your turn. And Clab, you're next. Oh, that's me again. Clob's dead anyway.
He's also dead.
It's also my dog's turn, so don't mind him. He's very upset. Okay, so is Nana still stuck in her cell?
Nana is still stuck in her cell. The only one that's stuck in her cell.
Damn it, Nana.
Just leave her. She's old anyway.
Don't worry about me, Darren.
Well, Lev
Lev
being Lev would normally have just left because Lev doesn't need any of her equipment. She's got everything she needs on her person. But Nana has helped her and healed her, and now she has this bloody conundrum. A debt to pay.
This voice in your head tells you to just leave.
Yeah.
Is there someone else in here?
No brain, who does?
Did a fourth person come into the Zoom call?
I mean, I think in true Lev style, she would kind of give a forlorn look over to Nana, but then try to make her way to the exit.
Right.
Because she doesn't owe anything to these people. She doesn't know anything about them. She only had a few daggers, but her spells are always far more useful than they ever are. She's like, F this, I'm out. I hate this place. I hate these people.
you
The
keep
voice
us
in
a
my
day.
head is not going to let up until I leave.
The ones who are telepathically connected hear this decision being made, and then see Lev
Hear me bickering.
with this other voice. Leave them. Don't need them. You make your way around a few different people in the corridor now, and out into the corridor of this prison, as it were. You're using your action to dash. You're going for the stairs.
How do you feel now, Lev?
Way to make her feel even worse.
Nugs get advantage from some granny, apparently. Thank you, grannies. watching.
Do you know what I can do? I also can disguise myself on the way out.
Yes, you can.
That's a
Make
thing.
yourself look like Granny. Twist the dagger just a little more.
Stolen your
you're
identity.
Like, don't worry, Nana. Your legacy will live on, and then you just take the form and walk out.
Immediately withdraws her superannuation.
Nana has an identity crisis. Did I escape?
What are you doing, love?
Oh, wow,
Some
good
nice
job, me.
looking like Riff Raff or a tiny ogre?
Tiny
Because you can't change your size when you change your
yeah. I know.
What are you looking at? You can just become Clab, but a tiny version, and be like, the ley line magic around here is crazy. Quick, Tom, you need to stop them. The ley line magic.
The ley line magic here is insane. Let's do that. And if it's not successful in just, disguising oneself, then at least it'll be enough of a distraction that I won't feel so bad for abandoning everybody.
Fair enough. All right, so you're becoming ogre.
Yeah, mini.
All right.
Small.
Make a deception check. Let's see how well this goes.
Let's go. Where am I here? 20.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good check. You rush out
My
of the door
deception
to
is
see-
+7, so.
I know. I tend to like to review people's character sheets and go, oh, they're really good at this, so I'll try and make sure there's a chance for. So you run out, you make your insane deception check. You see Pen just disappearing into a room right down the far end of the hallway. You see a blazing Azer outside, right in the hallway, and you see another halfling in regular day clothing but with a sword coming out into the hallway as well. You quickly turn to the Azer and say, I want your best Clab, please. He was like he had sort of deep Russian broken accent kind of Clab. Your best Clab.
I'm just like, hello, friends. I am leaving outside now, very hungry. Go to get the food. I will return shortly. Okay, goodbye. And just kind of waddle out.
And the Azer says, what voice was he? He was kind of Scottish, I think. He says, Barb, I'm the one who makes you food, you idiot. What do you do? No,
it's Taco Tuesday. Okay, bye-bye.
I don't know. Why are you so small? What happened? Is it magic?
Oh, the ley lines, they're crazy around here. Okay, goodbye. You want a taco? I bring you one.
The guards catch up to the Azer and it's like, what's going on? What's going on? And he goes, I don't know. I think he was angry that I dropped the soup, and so he's going to find some other food, and he must have got wild magic. We've got a donation NVCDM token for Nana. Nana, did you just give yourself a NVCDM token so that you can get out of this cell? Well,
Strength rip the door off.
If you want a job doing, crack knuckle, donate a bunch of money.
We
right,
missed a golden opportunity there, Lev, too. Weekend at Bernie's, the ogre. He is floating. He is weightless.
He's literally weightless. You can just under his arms. And...
I am Club. I am fine. We are
Do
going
not
away.
worry.
Come.
Everything is fine. I was just feeling a little bit down, but now I am happy. Everything
I
is
go for
fine.
tacos.
Go about your business. Bleeding. Just claw wounds and stuff. All right. Where were we? Jesus Christ, are we ever going to get out of this prison? That's Pride.
Okay, so just to be clear, DM, right? Pride finished clawing that. A dagger appeared through its chest. The ogre suddenly birthed itself again and became a second mini ogre, and then ran down the corridor. And starts talking about tacos. Okay, just I just want the imagery there of this very serious adventure we're on the moment.
I know it's weird, but this is just what's happening.
He crushed this person, and she went in pain, and then she basically almost immediately became another ogre. So that must be how ogres reproduce.
Assume that.
For Pride with a -1 intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. He's not so smart about all these things.
Okay.
And thinks this
Excellent.
ogre's just reproduced.
So, well, a nearly naked lion can only do one thing, and that's save a turtle in a cage. So he goes and kicks down the door,
All right.
or
you
rips
rush
it off,
around-
whatever's easier.
You rush around there. I'm gonna roll for you. Oh, look, a nat 20. You break open the door. What are the chances? What are the chances of that? You get
Anna, you are
you
free.
get the door open. That's your first attack action. Nana, you have a door open for your next turn, but you have another attack if you want to take Pride. You can see an Aza and a halfling guard outside with 3 more halfling guards coming out into the corridor.
As my free action, I will grab up Nana's scarf and cover up my Pride.
Nice. Wrap it
Like-
around. Nice.
All of you.
All of them. Not that long a scarf yet. She ain't been in here as long as Nugs.
And then do a strange backwards kind of spinning kick on one of the guards with my claws, the halfling guard, please.
You out the doors, spin around, whack, roll on that guy. His armor class is only 11 because he hasn't had time to put his armor on.
Yeah. Still miss.
Still miss on an 11.
Yeah, 9.
You hadn't given your advantage away. You do a spinning kick, but the scarf comes off, and you're like,
Yeah, no,
"No,"
it's-
you try to reach out and grab that.
Yeah, it's just bits of wool just wisping off, and it's caught in the back of his leg. It's like, no, you are free. Oh, God.
Damn.
Threaded.
But you are now engaged with the Aza and first of the halfling guards. That
And
is right.
DM, for my bonus action,
You can.
I
you
will-
have an action surge as well if you.
I
when you
do, but I am seeing the guards coming out the door, covered in wool and smelling probably now pea soap. I am going to do a daunting roar. So if you can make a wisdom
nice,
DC 14
yes.
save for the guards and whoever's.
Aza fails. The first guard you attacked failed. Oh man, I got 7 and 8 and a 7. So the next guard fails, and then a 16. One of them succeeds, and then a 12 plus wisdom. So these guys probably only a plus 2, 14.
14 was the magic number. So
14 is the magic number. So 2 of them have succeeded, and the last guy succeeds. So the 3 guys. Wait, do that right? No, I did 1 too many. So the last 2 guys succeed.
okay. So everybody else it's frightened.
Frightened.
So
As you almost hit this guy, kind of miss. He kind of dodges to the side of it, and then you land down. Just bellow along this corridor, which reverberates with the stonework and things, and definitely alerts anybody outside of this prison that there's a prison break going on now, because I was listening out for anything particularly loud happening within the prison break.
let me just stop you there. I think Taco Tuesday has well and truly just smashed everything. So don't blame it on the poor
There's
lies.
a fiesta outside that's causing a lot of ruckus.
And a tiny ogre dancing along.
All right. This roar, they are frightened of you. Pride, Vape, you're up, and none are on deck.
Vape is going to firstly continue heating the metal. He can't see it anymore, but he just.
You guys hear from the people who are.
Would you like the damage or?
No.
So
The guy's definitely
that's-
going to pass out. He was.
That's my bonus action. Vape doesn't have much in the way of I think it would be a bit cheesy to say he's got integrated weaponry. But he may not. But his Steel Defender does. So you're okay with me using my action as a bonus action to command my Steel Defender to go in and zap probably the Aza.
Yes, as you arrive and you see this Aza, I'll have actually Pride, since you got there on the last turn, and Vape. Pen, you're no longer there. Lev, you have run away. That's everybody that can see it. So just Pride and Vape. Can you make me an insight check, please?
Yes, I am good at this. Oh, I actually wasn't too bad. 16.
Okay,
Pride's too busy looking at Nana's shawl. It's wonderful. 7.
fair enough. Vape, as you rush outside with your Steel Defender to try and attack these Azas and whatnot, you see that the Aza, as you get there, just as Pride is doing this run over the top, leap with a back heel kick, it misses scrapes off the weapon of the guard, and then he does this roar. You notice that in that time, as he's doing this flip and whatnot, the Aza is around the back of him and could have possibly hit Pride, could have possibly taken an attack on him, but instead has just kind of like dropped its hands and cocked its flaming head. It's hard to tell because of lack of facial expressions
Right.
on this Aza. But since the Aza was a mini boss that was a donation from somebody long ago, this is the boss that is in love with Pride.
Right. Okay. In which case, I will, having determined that one, I'm like, oh, he doesn't seem actually that much of a threat. Maybe he's really scared of the noise. I don't really understand emotions. So, is there a different one that is in contact with Pride?
Oh, yes. Yeah, the one that you detect.
All right. In which case, both Whistler and Vape will look to be in base contact with that. So there are now 3 of us.
Excellent. You now have the surrounded condition on him and have advantage on all your attacks against this particular guard.
I don't have an attack, but Whistler will. Whistler gets a 14. Thank God I had advantage.
14 will hit.
It was a 2 and a 7 already. Awesome. For a massive 5 points of force damage.
5 points of force.
This one is a little electrode. It protrudes from the front of this trash can, and just blue lightning arcs between the 2 points, and it just shock him.
Right. That is Vape. Nana, you're up. Nugs is next.
Okay. So there is the fiery dude, and then there's guards as well.
Yes. Yeah.
How many?
There are a total of 4 guards. One of them has been hit. The other 3. Sorry, one of them is hit and is frightened. And then there are 3 more coming up the rear.
Would it be possible to target multiple of them within a 10-foot radius?
Oh, yeah.
Just
So
out
you
of
get out of your
curiosity.
cell, you run out 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, you can easily get to within sight of all of them, and 3 of them are all within 10 feet of each other because they're kind of halflings and running out of the same doorway.
Okay. So Nana's gonna kind of just, having done the spin, she's still a little dizzy. She's walking out of her cell, just looking around, just like, oh dear, what is that? And just point at nothing at all on the ceiling and cast confusion on all of the guards.
I love it. All right, so 3 rolls for them. Oh, first is a nat 20. Next is a 5, and the next is an 11 plus stuff. What's your modifier?
Let's see, wisdom 16.
It'll fail. So the first one succeeds. Same guy that's on the frightened as well. So he has a little more onto it, perhaps. But the other 2 guys he failed the frightened but succeeds on this. The 2 guys that succeed on this failed. I know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
you do your confusion thing. So the people that failed, they have to roll a d10 at the start of their turn, right?
Yes, and then I'll let you know what that is.
Gotcha. Wonderful. That's your whole turn?
So that was an action. I'm also going to do a bonus action of she's just gonna kind of glance up at the big lion hero who just broke her out. She's like, oh, thank you very much, dearie. So you be careful now, though, and cast Sanctuary on her new lion friend.
The lion friend. All right. If anybody tries to attack you, they'll have to make a wisdom save to do so until you attack and wreck it immediately. Now that's your turn. Nugs, you're up.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my cunning action to disengage, and I'm going to use my regular action to dash towards where my stuff is because I want my stuff.
Yep, you easily get into the room from where you were. You dart and duck and weave and through the range of each of them, avoiding their attacks of opportunity. You into the room. You can see that Pen is in the middle there, already opening the closet and starting to rummage around and finding things. You can see your stuff as a free action. You can start to head towards it and start to equip some of it, picking up whatever it is that you did. Pen as well. You're starting to already equip some of your things. You've found them in the closet and you're starting to pick it up. That's your whole turn, though, with the action, bonus action, and movement. It is now the guard's turn.
In Nugs's head, Vape says, "Friend Nugs, my weapon and shield are in there. Please retrieve them."
You got it. Coming right up.
All right. It's the guard's turns. The 2 at the back. Let's do them first because they failed the frightened and the confusion. So let's work out what their deal is. What do they do on their turn with it's a D10, yeah? And then the first guy is an 8, and the second guy is a 10.
Okay, the 8 for confusion. The creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. If there's no creature within its reach, the creature does nothing this turn.
All right. And
the 10 can act and move normally.
All right. Well, I just rolled randomly to determine whether it was the guy or the confused guy. He attacks the confused guy, and then because he's confused and he can act normally, I'm going to say his normal action is to attack him back and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And so they're just gonna have a fighting match between the two of them. Oh damn, that was a 19 plus stuff. The second guy didn't like it because he got a nat 20. So they start really just. The first guy comes out and you go, "Oh, what's that?" And he looks up and he's all confused and there's a roar and he's like, "Oh," and he's frightened and he just like turns around and slashes. A kobold comes running past him as well, so he's just he just turns around and slashes at the guy behind him and deals 7 out of 8 damage as well, 7 plus its modifier. She slashes him across the chest. The guy gets pushed back. He's got a big wound in his chest. He says something in halfling, and then he lunges forwards and just runs him through with his sword.
Because of that.
Which would be 8 plus his. It's like 15 damage to this guy, which actually, given that they went Riff and Raff, that is more than half their total hit points, which in my world is a thing called massive damage. And that's really bad. If you ever do more than half of a person's total hit points in a single attack, they suffer massive damage. They might have to make a con save, or they suffer an additional effect. His additional effect, because I rolled a 2 on the 10, is that he drops to 0 HP but is stable. So one of the guards drops to 0 HP because of a crit from the other guard that you made them do because of confusion. Wow, okay.
Nice.
Oh dear!
Then the other 2 guards get to go. They're going to attack Pride, but they're going to have to make wisdom saving throws to do so. The first one is a nat 1, so he's going to have to change his attack. Who else is in range now? We've got Vape. He changes his attack to you, Vape, and hit 9 plus stuff won't hit your armor class, I don't believe. No. The second guy tries to go. No shit, another nat 1. So he cannot get through your sanctuary against Pride. He's going to go for you, Vape. Sorry about it. Take it up with Nana. That's a nat 2 on the attack against you, Vape. So all of the guards.
He needed a 21, so
against anybody. All right, this is going well for the guards. I believe you might be able to escape. The Aza, being that they were specifically in love with you, is going to take no actions, Pride. In fact, they're going to roll a persuasion check to see if they can charm you, see if they can just like nat 2. So they don't even know how to woo you. They're just like, you're a pretty. I mean, not pretty. You're handsome. You're strong, and I love your hair is quite. I'd probably burn it, but if your tail. I mean, it's in my. You could. Are those real? Oh man, I'm screwing this up. I'm going to go back to the kitchen. Yeah, Aza is going to take some psychic embarrassment damage and go back to the kitchen.
Bye.
You'd better make a big apology, Keck.
Pen, you're up.
Okay, so Pen's got her stuff. She doesn't know what belongs to anyone else because she doesn't have voices in her head. So she's.
That looks interesting.
Yeah, just grabbing what looks like.
And that. Oh, hey.
Well,
yeah, Nugs is there. You can point things out.
I think Nugs and Pen together can figure out what's the most recent piles of belongings and stuff like that.
Probably the most,
and
the stuff that's on top, because anything valuable probably would have been hocked anyway. So anything in here is probably belonging to the guys that were in here. You on your turn, you'll just grab as much as you can. You've got a lot of movement left, so you can also get back out into the fight if you want. So I'll say it's because you're grabbing quite a lot of stuff. It'll be an action to pick it all up. But you've still got a bonus action left if you want to, and you can get with your movement pretty much wherever you want to along that corridor.
So
as you do exit into the corridor, you see one of the guards run the other one through with a sword.
Things have escalated in the last 6 seconds.
Yeah,
they have escalated in the last 6 seconds. Okay, so because in my head, I have so many rules of cool with monks and stuff like that. Pen runs down, reaches the other halfling guard, can't punch them because she's holding stuff. So she like spins and kicks them on the way past in the face. And I'll use flurry of blows. So she'll do 2 foot strikes.
So that's going to be 2 attacks on this guy and 2 flurries. Or are you going to split them up onto others?
Well, the action was picking stuff up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Do flurry of blows. I will allow it. Technically, you can only flurry after you've made the attack action, but we'll hand wave.
21 on the first one.
Hits.
11 damage.
Ooh, yeah, boy. On the guy that had just been attacked by his friend.
Yep.
All right. That is taking him to wounded as well. He's essentially out of it because he's confused, frightened, and now wounded. He's not going to keep fighting. He's going to walk around. He's going to go back to bed.
Okay. Because
he's just been woken up by all of the noise next door. He's barely got out of the door to the barracks, and he's just got absolutely effed up. And so he's just going to be like, I'm going to get back in bed. I don't care if they escape.
Because the second one would have missed, so that works.
There you go. Then as you go to hit him, he's like, "Nah, I'm out." He's like, gets out of your attack and just goes back to bed. Okay, that is you, Pen. It's Lev, and then Pride. Lev, aka Clab 2. You can now with your movement make it up the trapdoor and out up the ladder and out of the trapdoor if you wish.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
As you swing this trapdoor open at the top of the stairs, you can see that you are in the back corner of a warehouse. It seems like a regular sort of wooden, kind of like a converted barn, with lots of shelves in here. There's pretty much anything that's on the adventurer's table of the PHB within reason. Obviously, there's not crates of potions of healing in here or spyglasses, but anything within reason, that you could find it in here if you wanted anything in particular. If you do want to search for anything more specific, you can do so, or you can see the front door, the barn doors that lead you out of the warehouse.
I don't know if
with an action to dash, you can get out of there.
I don't know if I particularly need anything, so I think I'll just.
Your 3 daggers.
Mate, my daggers were back downstairs where I left.
Hey,
I mean,
are you missing 3 daggers?
yeah. You hear this. You're like, I wonder if they've got daggers here. And then another voice in your head goes, "I've got daggers down here."
And I'm just like, keep them. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna dash.
All right, you dash. You make it.
I'm dashing.
Doors. You make it to the front doors of the barn doors, as it were, and cranking it open with the last moments of your turn. You sort of peer outside. You realise that it is becoming evening. It's kind of like, it's getting towards afternoon, evening sort of time. So it's still light, but only for maybe another couple hours. You are in the woods. It seems. You can see 2 other buildings relatively nearby. 3 other buildings, I should say. Relatively nearby. Make me a perception check, see how much you can tell about those.
11.
11? You can make out that one of them's a stable. That's pretty much all you can tell with an 11. All right, that's your turn, I believe. Action to dash. You got bonus action technically for something?
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything in particular. Do I have any like healy things? No, I've just got like mending.
All right then.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of like my internal dialogue is just kind of narrating all of these things that I'm seeing. So I'm guessing that everyone's going to be picking up on that, whether I want them to or not.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a layout of outside now.
All right,
They would say, "Is this normal for humanoids? I don't have this much of an internal monologue."
Shut up. Hey, Lev, what are these other voices in here? You seeing other people?
Well,
Yes, I too am a patron.
All
my
right,
name's
Pride,
Ducks.
Pride, you're up then, mate. Pride.
Okay. What have we got left, Rob? It's got a little bit confusing with Taco Tuesday.
There are two guards that aren't. Well, one of them's taken 5 damage. The other one is unwounded, not frightened, not confused.
Okay. Can you pick them up and just throw them into a room and bar a door with my 2 attack actions?
Absolutely, you certainly can. Yes, make an athletics check to try and grapple the first guy.
Okay.
He will combat that with a 7 plus halfling strength. That's gonna.
Yeah. Pride's still trying to process the smoky eyes comment that came from his, possibly hot date.
He'll be processing that for a while, I think.
Yeah. Rob, natural 1.
Oh, really?
For
What's your strength? Your athletics, rather?
No, sorry, that was my apologies. Sorry. Silly me. 25, sorry.
You have a plus 24 athletics?
My athletics is plus 7. I had 2 for anything else on top of it.
Okay. You said you got a nat 1, right?
Yes, no, sorry, yes. That was it. That was definitely a 7 plus 1. That'd be plus 1, 10 total.
Okay, yes. That still beats him because he got a 7 on the dice, minus 1 for his halfling strength. Not very strong guy. So you pick up this first halfling that's just been force rendered by Whistler, and you just turn around and yeet him into the doors of the cell block behind you, and then just close the door. The throw is your second action. This next halfling, I'm gonna actually make me an intimidation check. He's not frightened of you, but he has just lost all of his buddies within the course of like 24 seconds.
15, Rob.
Yeah. Let me see. He's doing okay, and halflings they have advantage on frightened, don't they? So he's doing okay, but he knows better than to attack. He just goes, all right.
Okay. Can do the.
He goes. That's all right, mate. I think we're good here. Okay.
Yeah.
And he just drops his sword and he's like,
yeah.
All right. Calm it down. It seems like he might be giving up the fight here. Vape, you are close by to this guy. If you want to finish him, you can certainly try. But it seems like he's realized he's completely outmatched here.
Vape would say to this guy, "Query, you were intending slavery, yes?"
I mean, we weren't. We were just intending
to sell us.
Yeah.
Vape picks the sword up and runs him through.
We're not slavers. We're just. You just pick up a sword.
It was in my job description.
I swear it was just. All right, make an attack. You have advantage.
Whistler sort of squeals around, and Vape is just going to absolutely destroy this person.
Yeah, advantage.
So 18 on the first.
Oh yeah, that hits.
And a 25 on the second.
That definitely hits. I'll say for brevity's sake, you definitely just right through this guy. And he's, no, we were just going to tell you.
Yeah, that was the problem. The whole fell thing.
And just as the sword strikes, you can, Nugs, Vape, and Lev can hear Pride's voice. I've diffused the situation.
That's good because I think we found all the stuff.
You hear from we're out of combat now because there's no one who's literally wanting to combat anymore. But one of the guys who got pretty badly hurt and beat up and wants to go back to bed, you just go. You'd hear him from his barracks room over the top of some squealing pain from Riff and Raff and some shower sounds coming from the bathroom. You hear him say, "Well, Rotund Terrence is definitely going to hear of this one way or another. I guess you're free to go. You're going to go. Get out of here."
You'd think.
And you manage to get all of your stuff back and just waltz out of there. Not exactly how I expected your sneaky heist to start off. Sneaking and stealthing and learning the guards, all of that. But
tell him Nug says hello.
And as you leave with that last moment, we head outside as you're all catching up to Lev, who is out in the open, still looking like an ogre. Nice. We see Lev. Where would you be going? Towards that stable? Towards one of the other?
Yeah, Lev's halfway, waddling towards the stable as fast as possible. You just see this little ogre just
You guys get outside just to see this ogre disappear into what you can all recognize as a stables. Between the lot of you as well, with your various perceptions, you can make out that the other buildings you can see are a tavern, a brewery, and behind the stables is actually a smaller building that is more like a kennels rather than a stables. Lev, inside the stables, you see that there are 3 horses and an ox.
Trying to pull myself up on one of them horses and get the heck out of here.
All right, you go over, you unhook one of the horses, make me an animal handling check.
21.
21. You managed to calm down one of these horses enough to swing yourself up onto it bareback and set off out the front doors. By the time you guys all arrive at the front doors of the stables, Lev is coming out on the back of one of the horses.
Goodbye, my friends. I'm getting tacos.
Committing to the bit. What are the rest of you doing? There's a couple more horses left in here. There's kennels nearby, and then there's just the woods.
Yeah. Pride stops for a moment because Nana appears to be doing something. Nana?
Anna's back in the prison. She's wandered off into the kitchen to the fire guy and has just put her hand on his shoulders. Look, you just need to focus on yourself first, dearie. And if you just, be yourself, they'll warm up to you.
Oh, but I could warm him up. Just
You've got to warm up to you.
It's just,
You've got to accept yourself first,
as soon as I saw him, I thought I could ever live up to that.
I know.
I don't know if I could ever be hot enough for someone like him.
Hey, it's okay. She hands him a hard candy from her pocket.
Oh, thank you so much. You got to instinctively nana pat him on the head and take a point of fire damage.
That's okay. That's okay.
Come on, we're leaving.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to do this. I was tasked with working here for the Gallaghers, and I don't really have much of a choice in it. I'm bound here as an elemental, but they just the work that they do here is not. It's just not right, to be honest.
Let me tell you, when you spilled that soup, it was the most delicious soup I'd ever smelled. You're doing a great job, son. A great job.
Oh, here, have some of this. And he pulls out. He opens an oven and pulls out some fresh baked cookies that he was working on. Just with his hands, just reaches in, grabs the tray, pulls it out, and you can take a pocket full of cookies. Each of them will heal you 1 hit point.
Oh, much. I will share this with the whole group. Thank you. You're a good boy. A good boy.
Thank you very much. You're very kind to say so.
Vapor's been busy slaughtering everybody else in this room.
Vapor's just around the place.
Everybody,
Every weird interaction within the background. Vapor's just like
you see the corridor behind, and then there's just blood spray coming out of one of the other rooms, and a sound that sounds like upsettingly like a large circular saw.
What in the Tarantino is this?
No, I didn't. We just slave us blood.
Yeah. Pride would help, but he's putting on full plate armor, which takes him about 15 days. So he's like, okay,
all right, here we go. We'll get there.
Vape can't take his off, so yeah.
All right. Well, for brevity's sake, you all make your way onto either horses or, if you're small enough, the kobolds, for instance. There are riding wolves in there, being that
definitely taking a wolf.
Yeah, there are riding wolves that are trained to house people of your size. You also notice in the kennel there is a creature that looks like a 2-headed wolf, a very large thing. This one, as you approach to see if you can ride it, is definitely not rideable. This is a creature of my own device called a wolf frag. It is like an elemental wolf. You don't take that one because it would eat you all. Then instead you all ride out of there or walk out of there. Pen just walking along the side and almost keeping up with the riding horse anyway, because monks, man. You make your way along the roads. Can I have a survival check from somebody, please, to see if you can make your way back towards town?
I got a 10.
You got a 10? Anybody else survivaling?
Mine was a 5.
5.
I got a 13.
Did so well until that point.
Lev,
15.
You guys will eventually catch up to Lev, because although she went off in search of tacos, she completely lost the track, lost the path, went through the forest, tried to cut a corner and realized she didn't have a clue where she is, turns back around, and you guys catch up.
Hey, Lev.
10 got dirty 20, nice. Nana, did you
I think Vape would be driving a cart pulled by the ox.
Nice, okay. It's going it's going like 30 feet around. You'd be as fast walking.
Yes.
Nana got a 14. She's been handing out the cookies as like Energizer bars.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to can take a point of hit points in healing from a cookie.
It is
awesome.
It's like the Cookie Monster. They just go everywhere, but I don't actually ingest anything. Yeah. But I appreciate the sentiment, and my morale raises by a point.
Yes, yeah, you feel better because of the gift.
Yeah.
You with the DeeTwenty pen, you managed to find a path that these guys take to and from this place, and stick to it to lead you back towards town. The first sign of civilization that you get to is a tavern, a tavern that you recognize as being called by the name on the front of it, the Pale Quiver. The Pale Quiver is is named so for an organization, a sort of a small adventuring group of mercenaries that meet here. They set this up as a place just outside of the city of Iwanenburg, as a place that they can be. And as you walk in, you see that it's a pretty lively place, like for this far out of the city anyway, relatively speaking. There's like half a dozen patrons in there. What do you want to do?
Well, Pen is familiar with this name, so she kind of relaxes a little bit, and she'll go in without making too much of a fuss on the entry, but just have a look around to see if there's anyone she recognises.
There is indeed someone you recognise. You recognise her because it's been a while since you've seen Hope, but she is at the bar and she hasn't seen you enter. The barman, however, has seen you enter. You recognise him as a half-orc man, or in my world they're called Uruks if they're half-orc, half-humans. You recognise an Uruk man. He's also a member of the Pale Quiver. He's long since given up his adventuring gear, though. But he sees you enter and sort of double takes, and then he kind of looks across at Hope, looks back at you, and has like a not sure what to do moment of like whether he's going to tell her or not.
Pen will just back out the door.
Back out the doorway. And he kind of just like nods as you go, and then just goes back to like wiping the table down. It goes back to his idle stance that all barmen are in a tavern situation. The rest of you pull up behind and dismount from your various mounts and what have you in front of this, tie them to the hitching posts and things. See Pen enter the establishment first, and then immediately Homer Simpson back out of the doorway.
You'll all be safe in there. Just please don't mention you were traveling with me.
I don't know. I was. This is very new. I am pleased to meet you. Who are you that I should not mention?
My name is Pen. We kind of were traveling with each other because we were going to the same place for the same reason. But the question is whether we keep traveling with each other from this point on.
I mean, I saw you back there. You're truly mightier than the sword. So I think you can stick around.
And Nana's just gonna walk up through the building as well and pass Pen. Just, oh, it's okay, Pen, darling. It's okay. You stay. And just gonna hand her another cookie. You stay out here for as long as you need to. You do whatever you need.
I'll just be round the side if anyone needs me. I'll just do some meditation or something.
You head around, find a nice spot outside. If you want to get a full rest, you'll obviously be resting outside, unless you wish to wait until Hope is distracted or in bed or something, and then you can maybe able to go in and speak with I think it was Gerg or something they called him. Gerg, yeah, Gerg the bartender. The rest of you head inside. You see it's a very nice looking place. You can head over to the bartender and whatever you want to do. It feels like the sort of place you might be safe from the Gallaghers.
Rooms, please, barkeep.
Of course. The two of you, Vape and Nugs. Make me perception checks, please.
Not shit at that. 21.
19.
Thank you. Both of you.
I sort of beam across the room like there's a scanner.
Yeah. Both of you recognize that on his person, Gug is wearing like a small. It's like a lapel pin, but it's got like a little ribbon hanging off of it. And it is a symbol of a criminal organization that you've heard of, but you're not really a part of. It's sort of like it's basically a thing that denotes him as understanding the plight of people of your thieves-like qualities and things. He's probably the type of person who might speak Thieves' Cant and might know of jobs that if doing kind of. But he doesn't speak to you in Thieves' Cant as you arrive anyway. But he says rooms. Of course, we can put rooms for you. Can I ask the lady who came in before with you? She has left now?
We have never met her.
I didn't see a lady.
Right. Okay, I must have been.
And she is certainly not mightier than a sword.
This is not the lady you're looking for.
I've got you. Okay, I understand.
While saying in Thieves' Cant, yes, we are traveling with her. Please do not tell anyone she is with us.
Right. I was going to say he puts like himself into a position that you recognize to be like Thieves' Cant for like open. It's kind of like a stab phrase to see a call and response. That he can just put himself in like an innocuous position that if you understand Thieves' Cant, you can then put yourself in a similar position, and that tells them, oh yeah, this guy knows Thieves' Cant. So you do that, and then he kind of opens it up. And as he's talking to the rest of you, the conversation starts to get a little bit weird. He starts to like there's some non sequiturs in place as the topics seem to jump a little bit from like rooms and prices of things on the menu and the last time this place was cleaned and things. But what's happening is that they're speaking in Thieves' Cant as Vape is telling him, yeah, we're traveling with her. And he says, that's okay. She is welcome to stay inside. I have a room for her too. But I understand. And then he turns to Hope and says, "Don't you have the work in the morning, Hope? You have to work on what was it? The thing with the bishop?" And she says, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I better be going, Gug. Thank you for the drinks." And she gets off the chair and kind of like half stumbles and walks out of the room. He says, "Now would be the time." He says this in common. "Now would be the time if she wishes to come in."
Whistler detaches and goes out. My torso just opens up. It now contains an extra short sword, and Whistler just whistles out and wheels his way out to pen and beep boop whir. One of his eyes goes from red to green.
If you think you can learn that, you know what that means, then
yeah. And if you don't start immediately moving, he would start sort of running gently into the back of your shins to try to push you in.
Pushing your way in. Up to you, there, Pen. Do you want to come in or not?
Yes, I'll come in. I'm just sitting here because it's so adorable.
Around the corner, you see that Hope is no longer at the bar. Gug smiles in your direction and kind of nods, and then you walk in and he says, "Long time no see."
Yes, it has been a while.
You didn't have to run, you know.
It was better for other people emotionally.
Yes, but she has to learn of these situations she's gotten into. It's not an easy job that we do.
No, it's not.
Guarantees safety.
Have you been getting the money I've been sending back?
Yes, and I've been appreciating it. It has been put to good use, and he kind of just gestures around the tavern, which is a lot nicer than the last time you were here. It's he's like put in a lot more structural work to hold up ceilings and things, and to just like keeping the place longevity for the place, really, like putting in extra layers of paint and things on the wall stuff, just generally. You guys are looking not too well. What happened with you?
Apparently, someone called the Gallagher brothers have been running a little bit of a ring down the road.
Oh yes, the Gallagher's a crime family in Iwanenburg. The halflings, not pleasant people.
No, we don't like them.
What is the? You've been. Sorry, were you saying something in MVC? You kind of.
I just said
froze.
no. We don't like them.
No, we don't like them either. But they kind of keep to themselves, as far as we understood. What they took you? They attacked you? What?
They took us.
It seems like they're sending people into surrounding towns to steal people of magic or other value.
He looks around each of you and his eyes fall on the turtle. He goes, I don't suppose they took any humans, dwarves, elves.
Not from what we saw.
The irregulars. That's what we
rude.
thought. I mean, it is what he just gestures to his own tusks. He's like, "Come on, we know how it is. It's not. I mean, it wouldn't be ingenuous. It would be disingenuous of me to ignore the fact that we are not exactly common around these parts. Any of us." He gestures around this ragtag group of very, very rare individuals in this part. Okay.
I would call myself more than irregular myself.
It seems. I tell you what, you rest up. I will not burden you with it this morning, but we will be talking in the morning, yes?
Mhm.
I have
Sure.
rooms for you on the house. And he gives you keys. You head to your respective rooms and you have a long rest. You get all of your things back, and in the morning you are pulled to a meeting of sorts with a number of members from this organization, the Pale Quiver, who explain that they have been tracking the movements of a cleric that has moved into the area by the name of the Bishop. The Bishop has been acting irregularly, and they've noticed that certain people are going missing. There's been lots of reports of Kenku and Tabaxi and lizard folk and all sorts of very rare races going missing, and they think that that's being transported to the Bishop. They have reason to believe that an organization called Dark World are collecting these individuals and then sending them to the Bishop, and they don't know why. They want to, with your help, they want to get into his temple that's just to the south of here and work out what he's doing and put a stop to it. He has. They would do it themselves, but they said that they recently had a locksmith, Darnell, who unfortunately didn't make it out of one of the jobs. He passed away, and without the locksmith, they're going to have a hard time with a breaking and entering job, a heist mission, if you will. So they tell you as much as they can, and then they request your aid in that particular job. And if and when you take that job is a story for another day, because we have managed to spend the entire time just escaping in that one cell room, not gotten to any of the heist stuff.
Thank you to the chat.
Yes.
So, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun, though. I was having a great deal of fun with it. So thank you very much for everybody joining me. Thank you very much for the chat, for being here. Thank you for all of the donations you've given towards Jasper's Game Day. Can I get an update on what we've raised? What we're at the moment?
$6,069.69.
Nice.
I wonder.
Very solid work.
How
Very
did we
solid
possibly get there?
We need to earn another
With $900 donation.
900. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
My God. My God. All right.
Gamers.
Well, thank you very much for the 69. Nice. And thank you to everybody joining. I'll go around the table real quick with a reminder of who you all are and where people can see you if you make things that people want to see. Let's start with Josh.
Avast and ahoy, mateys. I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me on my channel, Corsairs Cove, where I run D&D on Monday and Thursday evenings. You can also find me in the There Be Dragons podcast, where I play the infamous and deadly pirate Scan Felspar und his little dragon, Hrosh. More programming to come, but that's me for the meow.
Very good. NVC, anywhere people can see the work you do?
Yes, I have been NVCDM playing as Nugs, you can find me on Twitter at that NVCDM, on Instagram at NVC_DM, or on twitch.tv/NVCDM. I am a menace to TTRPG society, and I crash many streams and one-shots. I'm going to be back tomorrow for more Jasper's fun, except first game up tomorrow, you're going to see me sitting in Rob's spot, because I am going to be the DM of the game one with some of these lovely people back again. That's going to be absolute chaos, I'm sure, but I look forward to seeing you all then.
Wonderful. Wabba, where can people find you and the work you do?
You can find me in other people's Twitch chats, causing problems.
Yes,
frequently.
she certainly does. Blowing my mind with generous donations. That's where you can find Wabba Jack.
Chaotic good.
Chaotic good. Tammie, where can people find you and what you do?
So it seems like a few of us here are predominantly chat gremlins, which is
There you go.
dropping surges on other people and stuff like that. So I don't do my own stuff, but you can read about my warlock's antics in the Meeples and Dragons newsletter.
Wonderful. Kerri?
I am, all of my websites basically go to the same website, and you can find all of my social media on that website as well, which is kidkerrigan.tv. So if you want to find that, it's literally this name in the chat plus a .tv at the end, and it will take you to my general website with all of my things and all of my voiceover stuff and all of my content stuff, and that is where I will be. And sometimes I am here, and sometimes these lovely people are with me, and sometimes I am annoying them, and it is great, and we love it.
Chris, how about you?
I'm not, but I have two questions for you, Rob. First, was it Taco Tuesday?
It was not Taco Tuesday.
And
tomorrow
second,
it will be.
if Nana and Lev touched each other, would the universe end? Because they seem to be polar opposites. It seemed to be like darkness and light, and it was just,
Singularity.
there was this moment I thought,
There has to be balance in all things. All things should be.
no, huge thank you, Rob, for running this, and to this wonderful cast, and everybody in chat who donated, and whether they happen to be on this wonderful cast and donated doesn't make a difference. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you very much. And I've been Robert Hartley GM. You can find me using those names everywhere. Robert Hartley GM on Twitch and YouTube. I'm also the DM for a comedy group called Viva la Dirt League on YouTube. We've got coming up to 300,000 subscribers. You may have noticed a little silver play button there. I don't like to show it off. I don't like to put that on screen. Just like to brag about it, because I'm super humble myself.
So
humble always. But you can find me on Viva La Dirt League D&D. You can find me on Robert Hartley GM. Thank you very much to Clint for all of the tech stuff you've been doing and all of the reminders of the donations and things. Super easy for me to focus on the story with you doing everything else. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much to Meeples and Dragons for organizing this, and for Jasper's Game Day and Jasper's Game Week. And I'm really disappointed that you called it Aussie Edition. That's my ending note, because I'm a Kiwi and that's racist. So.
And that edition?
Pavlova.
Down Under edition, isn't it?
Yeah, and Antipodean.
Antipodean. All right. See you later, everybody. Bye.
Bye.